Shilamani ma'am.
Sarita can start off and pass over. Hello, what is happening, Nilima?
Hello, Parul sir. Good afternoon.
Hello. Good
I'm
afternoon.
Dr. Nitin Trivedi, pediatrician from Amreli. How are you, sir?
I'm good. I know you, Nitin.
Yeah, of course. I'll be fully joining after 6 when my chairperson role is there. Otherwise,
Okay.
I'll be listening and continuing my OPD.
Please go ahead. Benefits
Okay.
of net meeting.
Hi.
So Nilima, Sarita has come.
Yes, sir.
Otherwise,
Just a minute.
let us start.
Sarita, we can begin the session actually. You are a co-host, Sarita.
Okay. Sorry, I wasn't able to unmute. Yeah. And
Yes.
I think we can go ahead and we can start. Nice to see everybody. And it's lovely to have a multidisciplinary team today with the obstetricians and pediatricians and also a lot of other workers who are working in this field.
Sarita again got muted.
Yeah. No, I think we can go ahead with now. We'll start with the, I think Dr.
So many colleagues are non-gynec fraternity, non-ICOG people. So just give them a brief about this program every month.
Okay. So we have this certificate course going on every month. This is the 7th or the 8th month. And we started with postpartum hemorrhage. Then we had the cosmetic gynecology. We've had fertility. We've had endometriosis. And this month, because it is the lactation month, we are having the lactation program. And I'm really very thankful to Dr. Parul and to Dr. Kartik Bhagat, who've really carved out this wonderful program for over the next 3 days. So it's a certificate course. So we will be having a pre-test and we will be having a post-test every day. Yeah, and I think, is Dr. Sheila Mane there? Madam is there?
Yes, madam is there.
So Madam is going to be the first speaker. She's going to speak, but Madam, would you like to say a few comments?
I think, I thank all the pediatrician fraternity for joining us. Thanks to Dr. Kartik Bhagat for, being there as a faculty as well as the convener and guiding us. And I think many known faces, Dr. Mangala Mani, nice seeing you. Okay, and on behalf of ICOG, once again, I welcome all of you. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Dr. Parag?
Yeah, thank you, Sarita. Good evening. I bring greetings from ICOG, and it's indeed a pleasure to welcome you as a series convener on behalf of ICOG. This month's program is special because it is a certification course on breastfeeding, and it is associated with the Study of Female Breast Committee, BPHI, and KMC of India. I must thank all non-OBGYN faculty and delegates who have joined. This is a subject which is applicable to all obstetricians, pediatricians, and everybody who's interested in the field of breastfeeding. So welcome on behalf of ICOG and happy learning to everyone. Please note that attendance for the delegates, attendance of all 3 days is a must, and you have to appear for the post-test and secure 50% mark in order to get a certificate from ICOG. So thank you and happy learning to everyone.
Dr. Parul?
Okay, I think you need not put up my CV or anything. It is indeed a pleasure to welcome you all for one of the signature program of ICOG. And to be honest, I was little hesitant that whether this topic would be so interesting for our colleagues. But I knew Karthik's commitment to breast crawl and everything about breastfeeding. I'm also associated with KMC Foundation. And so I wanted to put together a program where we all join together and work on this. This is the natural way of doing things, and so many artificial things have come into medical practice. And this is the time to go back to natural behavior. And it is happening in many other disciplines as well, in addition to obstetrics. So let us all have a very good program over the next 3 days. From tomorrow, I am out of station, but I shall be, whenever possible, joining in between. So please continue with the program. I am very hopeful that it will be useful to our colleagues.
I think we should start the pre-test, Nilima.
Yeah. Yeah, we all,
Yeah.
is Dr. Jaideep Tang there? I think
He will
Not the-
join in between. Yeah.
he will join in between, and Dr. Madhuri Patel also, he will join in between. I think madam is not there. So I think I'll take the liberty to introduce our coordinator for the day, and then they can take over. So Nilima, can you share the CV? I'd like to introduce Dr. Sorry?
No, I was saying that while the test is going on, can we do this for 10 minutes? Otherwise, we will be all silent.
No,
Is it possible? No.
No.
Okay.
When the test is going on, we have to give them time to do that. So I was
Okay.
thinking I'll introduce Dr. Karthik, and then he can begin with the test. Is that okay?
Perfect.
Yeah. So it gives me great pleasure to welcome Dr. Karthik Bhagat. Dr. Karthik is a well-known obstetrician and gynecologist from Mumbai, and he's at Grace Maternity Home, and his hospital is a baby-friendly hospital. He's also an honorary assistant at the Municipal Maternity Home. He's founder, member, past president, and currently on the advisory board of the Association of Fellow Gynecologists. And we have worked together on many programs with the Mumbai Obstetric Gynaec Society and with the AFG. He's an international board certified lactation consultant. He's worked with Dr. Prashant Gangal to make a film on initiation of breastfeeding by breast crawl. And he's also made a neonatal resuscitation for the birth attendant for perinatology committee. And Dr. Karthik, what's not on your CV, but what I remember is that when Dr. Rishma Pai was the president of FOGSI, you wrote a very, very nice article on breastfeeding and initiation of breastfeeding for our FOGSI focus. So that's Dr. Karthik for you, and he's worked really very hard on this program. I'd also like to introduce Dr. Charulata Bapai. She's from Pune. She's the chairperson on the study of female breast committee, FOGSI committee. She is an honorary consultant at Dinanath Mangeshkar Hospital, Cloud9 Hospital, Pune. And she's worked very, very hard on this breast committee, and she's done a lot of very important programs. She's also the recipient of the Smita Jog Award for exemplary work in adolescent health. She's won the Women Entrepreneur Award through Pune, and she's co-editor of the book on breastfeeding. So thank you very much, Dr. Charu. We have our third convener, Dr. Parag Dugli, who's a director of the Apple Children's Hospital in Naroda and Ahmedabad. He's a neonatal and a pediatric intensivist and a pediatric bronchoscopist. He's also a breastfeeding counselor and the trustee of the Kangaroo Mother Foundation India. And he's compiled a book for UG students and notes for final MBBS medicine and surgery. Really, I wonder where you get all the time, Dr. Parag, but it's great to have you. Our coordinators for the program are Dr. Taru Chaya. Dr. Taru Chaya Bansal is from Jaipur. She's a consultant and she's been the past secretary of the Jaipur OBGY Society. And she's been faculty at many, many conferences. And she's also a master trainer for the FOGSI RAC, Manyata, and the HPV vaccine. Our next convener, our next coordinator is Dr. Divya Singhal. Dr. Divya Singhal is a member of the breast committee of FOGSI, and she's been the past president of the Delhi Gynec Forum. And her special interest is in prevention of breast disease. And we have Dr. Archana Dwivedi, who's also founder treasurer of the Vadodara Menopause Society. She's done the national website for the Indian Menopause Society. She's a master trainer for DIRA and HPV vaccine champion. So they're going to be managing the show. And now I hand over to Dr. Karthik to begin the program.
Thank you, Sarita. And thank you, Parul, for those kind words. But the correction, see, I'm not the one, who's been, very, very active. I've been made active by my pediatrician, Prashant Gangan. So if it was not for Prashant, probably I would not have been doing it. I was a regular gynecologist managing my show and doing things. Now, the first question, all of us need to ask is, what are obstetricians like us doing on a program on breastfeeding? We always thought breastfeeding was the pediatrician's domain. And that too, Parag and, Sarita have made a certificate course on breastfeeding. Isn't it unusual? All right. So let us look at the routine scene in a maternity unit. A woman comes and delivers. The obstetrician sutures the episiotomy and actually literally washes his hands off and leaves. The pediatrician walks in, congratulates the young mother and leaves, gives her a few words of advice. The young mother has no clue what to do with the baby. So she's at the mercy of the staff nurse who will handle the mother and the baby. Now, all the agencies, WHO, UNICEF, WABA, tell us that every child should be exclusively breastfed for 6 months and to be breastfed till the second birthday, and proper complementary foods should be started in time. Now, there is a huge gap between what is to be done, what is advocated, what is advised, and what is actually being done. So when WHO and UNICEF started looking at the problem, they realized that maternity units have a special place in solving the problem. And the role of the obstetrician is central. What the obstetrician feels, what the obstetrician believes in, and what the obstetrician practice can influence how the unit functions and influence mothers to breastfeed. So we believe now that maternity service is responsible for the baby, not just at the time of birth, but till the breastfeeding is established. And this is a huge change. So to our mind, the duration of pregnancy is not just 9 months. It is 9 months of pregnancy and delivery and 6 months of exclusive breastfeeding. So to our mind, the duration of pregnancy is 15 months, not just 9. Now, milk is species specific. So a lion's milk is good for the lion, elephants for the elephant, goats for the goats, camels for the camel, and cows for the cow. We are the only animals who drink other animal milk. But in spite of this knowledge that breast milk is best for the human child, a lot many women do not breastfeed their babies. If you look at the NHS National Family Health Survey data, the initiation rates in Maharashtra in the range of 50s, 53 to 57%. And all over India, just 41%. And exclusive breastfeeding rates in Maharashtra are around 60 to 70%, and all over India, just 63%. So there is a huge gap in what we need to do and put in efforts here. This program is designed to give you a glimpse of the baby-friendly hospital concept and the curriculum. We will not be able to discuss all the topics and all the ideas in detail, but it'll give you a reasonable idea of what is to be done. Now, Prashant will give you an idea about the baby-friendly hospital initiative a little later. This program is brought to you at the instance of Parag, Sarita, and Parul. BPNI Maharashtra is an organization which has been working on the field of breastfeeding since the 90s, and the KMC Foundation in Ahmedabad. Our dream is to make every maternity unit baby-friendly, and we thank Parul and Sarita and Parag for giving us this time and taking this initiative. Prashant, can we give them an idea about the baby-friendly hospital initiative? Now, baby-friendly hospital initiative was thought of in the 90s, and WHO and UNICEF said that no, they identified 10 steps, and they said if you implement all the 10 steps, the facility would be baby-friendly. BPNI Maharashtra has been conducting these programs of sensitizing maternity units and making them baby-friendly. So if you feel that you want to make your service baby-friendly, then you can approach us, and we will do the sensitization programs free of charge, and then your facility can be certified as baby-friendly. Now, this is the onus on us obstetrician to make Thank you for giving us this opportunity. I, Prashant, are very, very thankful to you for this opportunity, and we can take the program forward.
Gauri, please post the link in chat box. Charu ma'am.
Hello. Welcome everyone. I'm Dr. Taruchhaya. This is QR code for pre-test, and we have sent the link in the chat box also. Everyone please scan this QR code and start doing pre-test. We are giving 10 minutes for the pre-test. After 10 minutes, we'll finish this and we'll start the sessions. And after the sessions, we'll have post-test also. if you listen the sessions properly, carefully, post-test will be 100% for you. All the best to everyone. Five minutes are over. I think Dr. Nilima ji, you can remove this screen and let people do their pre-test. Meanwhile, I will invite our chairpersons of the session first.
Yes, madam, but 3 minutes late, na, ma'am. Just wait for 3 minutes.
Dr. Sneha is here.
Yet to join, ma'am.
Nilima, some people have joined late, and let the QR code be on so they can at least
Yeah.
scan it
Okay.
and take the test.
Okay. Okay.
For the delegates who joined late, you can screen the QR code, scan the QR code, and take the test.
Just take the camera on
Click on the link which is
and
provided to take the
display
test.
on your phone.
Time is up.
Thank you, everyone. It is a great honor to be here. I am already very grateful for the opportunity given to me in such a distinguished gathering. Our chairpersons for the first session, FOGSI Breast Committee Chairperson, Dr. Sneha she was the FOGSI Breast Committee Chairperson 2019 to 21, International MS Signature for phenomenal leadership in 2020. Sen Malhotra Individual National Award, Dr. Durusha Distinguished Community Service, many awards and many publications. Dr. Chetan Trivedi is Senior Pediatrician and Consultant, Neha Children Hospital, Maninagar, Ahmedabad. Is President AOP Gujarat 2023, Secretary IAPID, Chapter PIDA 2024-25, Scientific Convener Wednesday Wisdom, Weekly Webinar Series Ahmedabad Connect. Authorized chapters in many books. and national trainer many CIAP modules. Professor Dr. Suchitra and Pandit ma'am, she is consultant OBGY Surya Group of Hospitals, Mumbai. She is now FOGSI representative to FOG 24 to 26, associate member of FIGO Ethics Committee, co-chair NCT Committee FOG, President Justice India Association 2016 to 23. And FIGO Women Awardee 2018. Concern Youth, member of APACI Committee. Many awards in your bag. It's not, I am not able to explain everything. So now I will invite our chairperson to please introduce our first speaker, Dr. Sheila Mani ma'am. Anyone can take, please. Dr. Nitin, I think you are here.
Dr. Chetan Trivedi can.
Yeah, sorry, Dr.
Sir, yeah, sir, please introduce Dr. Sheila Mani ma'am. Dr. Chetan Trivedi,
Hello.
sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello.
Please go ahead.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you so much, friends. It's a wonderful initiative by ICOG for this breastfeeding awareness and rather the science to disseminate the science about breastfeeding. I'm happy to be part of you. I'm a pediatrician, and thanks Dr. Parulbhai for giving me this opportunity to chair the session. And I saw the program. It's a wonderful, and it's always maternal health, child health. It is a combo thing. So pediatrician and obstetrician should be working hand in hand. This is good that breastfeeding is been to be taken care of by both pediatrician as well as the obstetricians. So yes, we are going to have first session that is on to be delivered by Dr. Sheila Mane. She is ICOG Vice President, DNB faculty for KC General Hospital. She is member of many societies, including the Bangalore Society of Obstetrician and FOGSI. She was past president of BSOG and past president of Bangalore Menopause Society. She has many awards to her laurel. So I will request Dr. Sheila to proceed for her presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Chetan, and thank you for giving me this opportunity as a first speaker in this program. And I would like to share my slides. Can you see it?
Yes, ma'am. Make it slideshow.
Yeah. So I'm just going to give a brief about baby-friendly hospital initiative, care, the early breastfeeding current practice. It will be just over because I know that we have started to many from the pediatrics fraternity who will be throwing more light on this. So introduction, actually this was a global movement by WHO and UNICEF, and that aims to give baby the best start in life by in the healthcare environment where breastfeeding is the norm. Now the goal initiative are to transform the hospitals and the maternity facilities implementation of those 10 steps and to end the practice of distribution of free and low-cost supplies of breast milk substitutes to maternity wards and hospitals. Now there are key dates in the history of breastfeeding and the UNICEF meeting Department on Infant and Young in Geneva. In 81, there was adoption of the International Code of Marketing of Breast Milk Substitutes.
Madam, your voice is
WHO
breaking. Madam, your voice is breaking. It's not very clearly audible.
In 2002, there was endorsement of the global strategy for infant and young child feeding by WHO, and 2005 there was a innocent declaration, that is revision of BFHI document. I think all others know it better than me. Those who are in this group. The steps or world nations have a written infant feeding policy that is routinely communicated to staff and parents, and establish ongoing monitoring and data management system. This was required for exclusive breastfeeding. Staff competence is equally important because training of the staff matters a lot. So ensure that staff have sufficient knowledge, competence, and skills to support the breastfeeding. And it is good to discuss this during the antenatal care right after birth is equally important. So help mothers initiate breastfeeding within a half hour of birth. In fact, we call it as a golden liquid, and we know that importance of this. What is the importance of this golden liquid? And we can also encourage into skin contact between the mother and baby soon after birth. And there is a talk on crawl also. Later on, I think you people will be enlightened about that. Okay. Then support the mother with breastfeeding, and maintain and manage common difficulty. Particularly that in this modern, even in my practice also, what I find that the primary areas, they really struggle. We have to support them by positions, attachment, and skin. Then giving practice feeding support and helping mothers with common breastfeeding problems. Then supplementing, do not provide new food or fluid other than unless medically needed. That has to be a strict policy. And then comes the routine. After the baby you started, all of us, we know that have just disappeared. And for this, and the hospital where everybody got from the maternity wards, and they were trained everywhere. The boards were put up that is a baby-friendly hospital. We have different initiatives. Their infants to remain together, to practice rooming in 24 hours a day. Coming to response feeding, helping mothers is hungry and not limiting it to times. The mother to recognize and respond to their infant for feeding. Counsel mothers on the use and rest of feeding boxes and aspire. And we do find the relatives start giving. It only takes very long time in lactation to get the baby just to take it from the breast. Discharge is very important. You have to coordinate due discharge so that their infants have time to ongoing support and care. Referring mothers to community resources for breastfeeding support is again equally. So these are the the next thing, providing skin to skin contact with mother and baby, breastfeeding, early discharge from hospital. So the recommendation is care of newborns weighing less than 2,000 grams or less at birth and should be initiated in health facilities as newborns clinically stable. And I also work in a public. This KMC ward is so good, you know, there is a room in and they feed the baby. Sometimes babies are there, even they are monitored and they are breastfed. Mother care rather than conventional care is newborns weighing to a 2 gram or less birth, and continuous care is not possible. Components are, so there are 3 major: position, skin to skin, nutrition, breastfeeding, and discharge and regular follow-up. So advantages: it offers skin to skin contact, facilitates physiological, reduces apnea, oxygen requirement, and risk of infection to the baby, and helps in early discharge. I'm really sorry again, and my internet is really troubling again and again today. I'm sorry. Just 2 minutes. So it helps in early discharge babies from NICU. Benefits to the mother are also there. It promotes better mother-infant bonding. Mother is less stressed during KMC as the mother is more actively involved in the care. Because if the babies are kept nice for SNC, you know, they have to wait there. Benefits to family is economic, promotes early discharge of baby, and facilitates bonding the baby, mother, and the family. Benefits to the nation: it decreases and infant mortality and easily accessible and cost effective. Counseling: mother should be provided with front open gown and the baby's gap, socks, nappy, and front open sleeveless shirt. Positioning: baby should be placed on in an upright position. Baby's head should be to one side. Now, the early breastfeeding concept and practices, WHO and UNICEF recommend that children initiate breastfeeding before of birth and be breastfed for the first 6 months, meaning no other liquids are provided in water. And early and uninterrupted skin-to-skin contact between mother and infant should be facilitated and encouraged as soon as all mothers should be supported to initiate breastfeeding as soon as possible after birth, within the first hour after delivery. Receive practical support to initiate and establish breastfeeding and manage common breastfeeding difficulties. And they should be breastfed on that it is as the child wants day and night. No water, steam should be used. From the age of 6 months, and should begin eating safe, liquid complementary food while continuing to breastfeed for up to 2 years of age or beyond. So even if the top feeds supplements need to be given, the mother can continue up to 2 years. So what does this early breastfeeding newborn from reduces mortality, it facilitates bonding of the mother and has a positive impact on duration of exclusive breastfeeding. Thank you very much, and the disturbance coming 3 will be discussed in detail, and I see was here Dr. Mangalavani personally. It is so important to have a very confident person telling the mother that how she should get away with those problems when she is breastfeeding. And thank you very much again for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Sheila Mani, madam, pleasure to have you as our first speaker. This is Charu Bapai, this side. Thank you for being
Yes,
the
Charu.
opening batsman
Thank you.
and discussing such an important
Thank you.
topic.
I thank Dr. Parul. Yeah.
I hand over the proceedings to our moderator to further the discussion.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Charu. Now, our chairperson for the next.
Can I make a
session,
suggestion, please? Sheila, madam, I think your slides were not visible for a long portion of the time. The delegates have missed your slides, madam.
So what do I do? Shall I share it so that it can be shared with them?
I think that will be a good idea, Sheila, ma'am, because it is an important topic. And I think they were
need to show 10 steps. Somebody has put up the 10 steps. Can I go over that?
Hello?
Yeah, Sheila, madam,
Can
you can make the PDF and then just on the WhatsApp you can share with everyone.
Ma'am, only the 10 points, which is the initial 3-4 points everybody has made, so you can put it on the chat box, I think.
I think we'll do the needful. We will share the PPT.
Okay, whatever you say. Whatever.
Thank you, ma'am.
If there is a time, I can get steps. Otherwise, you say I will just share it office and then I'll share it with everybody.
If it is okay for our next speakers, I think, madam, our delegates are interested in listening to it, madam. We are getting messages in the chat box.
Okay.
Is your internet connection okay, madam, currently?
I think there is a problem with madam's internet connections. Madam, I think it may be better if we can make a PDF and send it to the delegates. And we can share that slide of 10 steps.
Yes.
Now and then I'll stop. So this is the first. I will just highlight the hospital policies. Okay. So hospital policy is not to promote any formula. It has to be exclusively breastfeeding. Am I audible?
No, madam, you're not audible and your screen is on.
I think there is a problem with madam's internet.
I think, we'll have madam's lecture once again.
Yeah, probably we will do something of that sort. So let's carry on with the session.
We shall move ahead. That's right, sir. Sheila, madam, we'll have to have your talk once again from a more internet-friendly area. We'll just finalize the time according to your convenience, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I will share the PDF. That is a
all right, madam. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you.
Madam, please stop share.
On my phone now. I have stopped.
Thank you, Dr. Charu.
Yes, Dr. Tarusha, you can take over.
Yeah. For the session 2, our chair.
Is there some time for discussion? Because that is what the timetable says. I wanted to say a few things if the chairman permits.
I think it may be worthwhile, Prashant, you give out important points because the question was not audible. So let him summarize the 10 steps. Yes. Go ahead, Prashant.
Is Professor OBGY.
Hello. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. The 10 steps which are given in 1989 can be very easily summarized in short. Point number one, which was just policy few years back, has now been converted 1A, 1B, and 1C. 1A says that you have to follow the IMS Act. That means no help from the infant formula industry or bottle feeding distributors, retailers, manufacturers, no help for anything. Second is you need to have a written breastfeeding policy which is appropriately displayed. And third thing, you need to monitor the data. The most crucial being the exclusive breastfeeding and the initiation of breastfeeding, the data and so many other also data if the time permits and if you are really promoting it very hard. So this is point number one. Point number two is developing competencies, abilities, and skills for the staff, which is a skill-based training, which is the most difficult. BPNI Maharashtra has a hands-on workshop to teach this in 3-day workshop. So anytime FOGSI feels, they can let us know. Point number three is proper antenatal counseling for the mother and family. Point number four is starting skin-to-skin contact in about 5 minutes and continuing the skin-to-skin contact till the first breastfeed gets complete. Of course, initiation within 1 hour. Point number five is give practical help to the mother, most importantly for position and attachment, for expressing, and help the mother to continue with exclusive breastfeeding as much as possible if the child gets shifted to a premature unit. So all that neo BFHI will really come over here. Number six is, I'm telling in short, I'm not exact wordings. Point number six is exclusive breastfeeding. That means and defining under what circumstances can the baby be given supplements. Number seven is rooming in or bedding in, whatever you say. In India, we would call it as bedding in, not exactly rooming in. So WHO says so. Point number eight is Q-based feeding, not demand feeding, which was advised a few years back. Point number nine, in case the baby needs supplement, the proper method to give those supplements by a katori spoon or like say nifty cup. And now in India, we will say definitely not using the bottle. And point number 10 is to coordinate the discharge, so that after discharge also, the most neglected babies in India or world over are the normal full-term babies who get discharged from maternity home and straight away called at 42 days. So ensure proper follow-up. In case the mother has problems, she should have the phone number, and ideally, every maternity service should start a lactation OPD for following up the newborns for day 0, 3, 7, 14, and 28 days wait. So these are the 10 steps in nutshell. But behind these 10 steps, what is there is oxytocin. See, oxytocin is a love hormone and a wonderful hormone, which is responsible also for delivery, also birthing also, and for breastfeeding also. So better the birthing experience, higher the oxytocin. And the whole core of BFHI, which probably many people don't know, is how to boost mother's oxytocin. And if I have seen many labor rooms, I'm not specifically talking because I'm a pediatrician and I'm talking against the Australian, something of that kind. But many places I have seen, I feel that sometimes the cows and buffaloes also must be delivering in better places. Within last 100 years, we have got the mothers from their homes, from the loving company of the elderly in the family who would help her for delivery, to maternity home, hospital-based delivery. She was delivering in sitting position. Now we are making her delivering in horizontal position. Not only that, we put her legs up in the stirrup, and privacy, etc., goes to to a bomb. So we need to change the circumstances. A mother should feel that she's really at home in the place where she's delivering, in the company of the loving ones. And the music which has remained in my ears for delivery is chal 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 fat. So we need to really change that. And so we have come out with the concept of Naujat Shishu Agaman Kaksha, which will boost mother's oxytocin. So she will say that next time if I'm going to deliver, I'll come right over here and I will tell all my relatives and friends to come and do. So base is oxytocin. Over. Thank you.
Thank you for that wonderful input, Dr. Gangal. It really was very heartening. And yes, we as obstetricians probably have a lot more to do, and point well taken. Thank you.
So thank you. We move on to our next session, which is a very important session on structure and function of the breast, video and feeding difficulties. The speaker is going to be Dr. Parag Dagli. And I would really be honored to introduce the chairpersons and invite them. Dr. Kiranmai Devi Neni, she is the chairperson, FOGSI, No to Wow, that is Violence Against Women Committee. And she's the vice president of OGSH Hyderabad. She's the core member of the FOGSI. no to VAW cell. So our next chairperson is Dr. Kamini Rao, Dr. Haresh Uyudovchi, who is a professor and head of Department of OB-GYN, GCS Medical College, Ahmedabad, Gujarat. He has many publications to his credit, and he's also the president of SOGOG 2004 and AOGS 2003. He's the vice president FOGSI 2019, organizing chairperson, HRPCON, and ICOG governing council member. Our next chairperson is Dr. Professor Bharti Maheshwari. She's professor and head of department, Obs and Gynae, and IVF specialist, Muzaffarnagar Medical College, Muzaffarnagar, a very active member of Uttar Pradesh and North India. She's the chairperson FOGSI MTP Committee 2018 to 20. And she's got a fellowship in medical education by MCI FIME. Over to the chairpersons to introduce our speakers. Over to you, ma'am. Dr. Bharti, ma'am, are you there? Dr. Kiran, sir? So our first speaker is Dr. None other than Dr. Parag Dagle. He is the director, Apple Children Hospitals, Parimal Naroda, Chankheda, Gota, Ahmedabad. He's a neonatal and pediatric intensivist, a pediatric bronchoscopist, and a breastfeeding counselor, a trustee of the Kangaroo Mother Care Foundation of India. And he's compiled a book for the undergraduate students. Over to you, sir, for the talk. Dr. Parag Dagle, sir.
Thank you very much, madam. I hope I'm clearly audible.
Yes, you are, sir.
Thank you. And I'd like to share the screen. Am I allowed?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. So at outset, I'm actually feeling very pleased. I'm very happy to be over here on this platform, interacting with at least 140 people across the India, with the help of ICOG, especially Dr. Parul Bhai and the people from Bombay who are organizing this perinatal kind of thing, obstetricians and pediatricians together. So I'm really happy to discuss on a topic which is really very close to my heart. And today I'll try to discuss about the structure and function of the breast with special reference to how that can be helpful in dealing the breastfeeding difficulties. So we should I continue, right? I mean, there's no.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay.
Please go ahead.
Please continue.
All is fine. Okay. So we all know that it's the God's gift to each and every baby who comes on this earth, that which is the most delicate part of his life. And at that point, the baby gets support from mother. Unfortunately, our eyes see only what our mind knows. And that's why we often feel that breastfeeding will be less during first 48 hours after, especially after cesarean delivery, or some pain during breastfeeding is inevitable and mother has to bear it. And mother has to sit down to breastfeed a baby to avoid milk aspiration into baby's lungs. So these three, and probably there are 100 more kind of mindsets or misbeliefs which are in our mind, which we believe that they are true. And that's why the trouble to the breastfeedings are going on. So we have doubts about the God's gift itself, the arrangement that nature has made. We have doubt against it, that whether and every mother, especially her breast, will be able to produce sufficient milk for her baby. How many of you must have seen that many mothers are facing trouble producing sufficient milk? But believe me, it's a problem of perception. Although almost 50 to 80% of mothers currently in urban and even rural areas, they feel that they might have some doubt about milk being sufficient or sometimes even quality. The real trouble is probably not with the production, it is with the mother's exhaustion, either pain at nipple, arms or back, or the baby and mother are separated for even slightest time, and there is a lack of surrounding support. So I'll try to explain how these things are important. See, as I said, that breastfeeding is natural and it is supposed to come as much as required, just like any other system in our body. If we eat 2 rotis at a time, let us say if there is 100 ml of saliva being secreted in our mouth, if we eat 4 rotis, there will be 200 ml. We never check. If we fast, then there will be no secretion at all. Almost like if a cat is having 3 kittens, it will produce milk for 3 kittens. If it is having 4 next time, it will be milk for 4. If it is having 2, then she will naturally produce milk for 2. It won't happen that if he is having 2 kittens, she will go on producing for 4, like 2 are taking milk and there is almost ongoing secretion for remaining 2. That never happens. Similarly, in humans, for example, if it's a mother who has got a 3 kg baby on first delivery, she will be able to produce milk for 3 kg baby. Next time, if the baby is 4 kg, then she'll produce 4. And next time, if the baby is 2 kg, she will be able to produce milk for 2 kg. This is actually the demand feeding, production according to demand. So if a baby needs, let us say, for example, if a baby needs 300 ml milk in a day, the breast will produce, is it possible that they will produce 250 milk only and then it will say, no, now today's quota is over and you have to come tomorrow for any other milk production? Are there any diseases that we know that, okay, there can be a, say, 20% less production of milk because of this particular disease? No. Actually speaking, humans have created a condition that nature forgot to make. In almost 6,000 mammals across the globe, out of which we are the superior most, we are the only one who believe that there can be a condition, there will be less milk production than required. And as such, we believe in evidences. So let me share you some of the evidences which are actually quite age old. In 1945, this Mr. Kocher found out that on 6 to 10 days, these are scientific papers, okay? On 6 to 10 days, there can be a production of around 1200 ml per day. In 1984, somebody found out that the requirement of the same age baby, 6 to 10 days, is around 500 to 700 ml per day. The same guy actually found out that the mothers who exclusively breastfed twins or triplets can produce up to 2 to 3 liters. And in 1930 again, Massey had found out that women who expressed surplus milk for a milk bank, they were producing around 3 liters per day. So there are evidences, and we have to believe, first actually we have to believe that every mother and even every breast is capable of nourishing the beneficiary, that is the producing sufficient milk for the baby. So we'll try to understand some part of the structure of the breast and we'll try to understand how physiologically these things will work. At birth, from birth to puberty and adulthood, we know that the breast will have ductal elongation with the help of the hormones or estrogen, progesterone, and gonadotropins. During pregnancy, there will be enlargement of the ductal system as well as secretory proliferation. Again, with the help of several hormones, I'll not name all, we all know probably. During lactation, there are secretory activation, and with the help of 2 main hormones, prolactin and oxytocin, there will be milk production and there will be milk transfer. So this thing is absolutely true for each and every mammal. While actual time of feeding, when the baby suckles at breast, by stimulating the nipple or providing stimulation at nipple, those go to the anterior pituitary and it produces prolactin, which increases milk production. And then there is oxytocin, which actually drives that milk out of the breast into the baby's mouth. So actually speaking, what baby has to do is has to hold the breast in its mouth and just provide sufficient stimulations to the nipple so that the milk will produce automatically and will come to its mouth, which it has to swallow. So actually it is not sucking, it is suckling, which is different from suckling. If you want to understand in pictorially, you just see that, just a moment. Yes. Yeah. So in the breast, just below the nipple, there are ducts and the mammary gland itself, which is the milk producing area. So milk is being produced over here with the help of prolactin hormone from blood. The milk is produced, and with the help of next hormone, oxytocin, the milk is being transferred and delivered to the area just below the nipple. So when a baby suckles properly, what you understand, when it takes a good grasp of nipple as well as the areola, it will get the delivery of the milk smoothly. But if it holds only the nipple, then there's chance that it will actually obstruct while pressing the nipple and the milk will come slowly. This will remember. So as I said, if there are 2 cups, there will be milk for 2. If there are 3 cups, there are milk for 3. And if there are 4, there will be milk for 4. You can see this small video which was taken from where the mother is actually lying flat supine on bed. The video is taken from upside where 2 babies are suckling calmly, restfully, without fighting with each other, and just go on suckling till they want. In this entire procedure, the mother is actually resting like anything. So we know that milk can be produced as much as and when required. That is what nature has designed. But then we do see that there are troubles. So I'll try to understand why that should be happening. We know that estrogen and progesterone drop at birth. Before birth, there are multiple hormones, but after birth, these 2 hormones will remain, prolactin and oxytocin. The estrogen and progesterone will stop, and that immediately will allow the milk to be produced with the help of this prolactin and oxytocin. And that is what we will see in the video of breast crawl. I think one of our fellow faculty will be discussing that part in details. I'll not go in details of that, but this can be, the milk production can start right at birth, and that is in normal delivery as well as cesarean delivery, because the cesarean per se section is being done on uterus. Nothing is happening to breast or the hormonal axis. So that part remains as it is. And if the baby is given chance, I think we'll show you the video also that during cesarean also the milk production be sufficient. Then often we feel that mother has to wait for baby for another 2 hours before giving milk. The milk will be produced, stored in the breast, and then only baby can be given milk. But that is also not true. The babies can get hungry very frequently. In fact, during initial days, when the baby is learning, sometimes baby, even if tried, he might not get anything. So it is possible that just after a few minutes of rest, it will try again. So not too early, but on demand. And remember, even if on demand the baby takes milk, on day 1, the size of the stomach is like a cherry. So it will get filled fast and it will get empty fast. So baby will ask for feeds very frequently. On 3rd day, it is just like a small akhrout, what we call it. Then peach, and then a small egg. So these are gradually increasing size. The baby in learning phase will ask more and more frequently, and it takes fast and it will empty also fast. And this should be given, as already Dr. Prashant had told, according to I think number 7 of BFHI, the baby should be fed on hunger cues before cries. These cues will appear before cries. I think most of the experienced people, they know that baby will start certain movements, typical movements, which lets the mother know that now baby might be hungry. Again, some mothers might not be aware about it because they have never seen these things. This is a primiparous. In that case, we should tell a mother that she should try to feed at each and every moment of the baby. Even in sleep, if the baby moves a little bit, baby should be offered breast. In just few days of course, mother will be able to identify that these are the actual cues of hunger, and these are actually cues of, say, a baby has passed urinated, it's wet. So baby should be fed before starts crying, and that will be possible only if mother and baby are together, not in a mosquito net on the other bed. So this is very important that baby and mother remains on close proximity with each other on one bed only. If possible, the baby should be on the mother itself, which we call in simple terms of kangaroo mother care when the baby is in NICU. So baby should be in close proximity, so it should be picked up. So every time baby would try to suckle, the milk will be produced. and it will start flowing towards the baby's mouth on its own without baby's effort. This is what is nature has arranged. So if we know this, then probably with more confidence, all of us will be able to convince a mother that yes, don't worry, you will have problem. But then out of this, we don't know that why there was less milk then. If everything was ready, why mother is secreting less milk according to our perception? So let's try to understand. First thing is mother's comfort. Now, almost every promotional material of the breastfeeding will have this kind of picture where the mother is, while breastfeeding, mother is sitting and the baby is in its lap and she is breastfeeding. We have never promoted a mother breastfeeding in supine or reclining or sleeping position. Tell me one thing, if you need to see, you want to see a TV serial for 1 hour or a movie, in what position will you like to sit? In something like this, 90-degree angle, straight up, or would you try to just in a relaxed reclining position, or even you would try to go to supine position, completely lying down? Probably if there is no elderly, particularly mother is not available, law is not available, then anybody would try to go to sleep. That is natural. So while feeding also, is it possible that mother would be giving feeding in this position? I'm sure when you will see the video breast growth, you will be realizing that this is almost same condition where mother can feed in the very first time, just after birth. Although many of us believe, many of the people that I know, 98% believe that mother has to sit down while feeding because otherwise the baby might get aspirated. But in this photograph that you are currently seeing, the mother is sitting and baby is suckling now. So in this position, probably baby will not suckle. That is what we believe. But in this position, if we see it more carefully, the baby who is suckling is still lying down. Baby is not in sitting position. Even then, it is not getting any ear infection or aspiration pneumonia. So that fear of aspiration is actually incorrect. If we see in the nature, the baby is suckle in any damn position of mother and even baby. If you see this picture where the mother is a bat, it's a mammal. It is actually hanging upside down while feeding and they don't have any trouble. So in this condition, all mothers should be given breastfeeding at least in the initial 6 to 8 weeks when they need rest. Imagine if the mother is giving breastfeeding in this position and at the end of feeding, both mother and baby are actually relaxed, what you are seeing right now. How comfortable it will be for mother to feed baby on demand. When we tell that on demand, sometimes it is 5 to 10 times in an hour, or at night time it will be 10 to 20 times. Then if mother can give in this position, it is for her, it is possible. That means mother can feed in her comfortable position. That doesn't mean that she cannot give in sitting position. She can sit down, she can walk down also while feeding. That is, everything is possible, but that she should be able to decide and without having fear of that aspiration. So if mother is feeding in reclining position, she will be able to feed the baby while doing rest for herself, which is required. And in fact, because of the hormone prolactin, she might feel dizzy and actually she can go to sleep while the baby is suckling. So after that 20 or 30 minutes of nap, the mother will wake up with freshness. It's a power nap. And such kind of 50 to 20 episodes a day will add to at least 3 to 4 hours of extra sleep to a mother who is usually sleep deprived. So I urge all those people who are hearing that please encourage mother that while feeding, she can definitely rest and sleep as per her need. The baby is going to be hungry very frequently, at least initially, and mother can give on-demand feeding only if she will be doing it easily. So if the baby is suckling good, the mother will produce milk. First part was mother's comfort, which we already discussed. Second part is a good suckling. We know that if the baby is suckling at breast, at particularly nipple, as I already discussed in the other part, the baby will get a good grip, then she will go on suckling well. If she is getting poor grip, then she may start crying, which is again interpreted as whether mother is having less milk. But believe me, if a baby is given even a finger, it will go on suckling for almost, this video is actually shortened. The baby will go on suckling for almost 10 to 15 minutes. I have shown it to many mothers in OPD that the baby is not crying for just milk. It is crying for a good grip. So if a baby gets a good grip on breast, the things should be smoother for baby and mother. So now we will try to understand how we can help a baby to have a good grip. For this, we can remember very simple B, T, N, and C. First B is baby to breast, T is tummy to tummy, and N is nose to nipple. The C is chin or cheek to the chest. We'll see how this works. In all these conditions, first part important is mother's position. Please remember, mother should be at rest. And then if a baby is brought to breast, instead of breast being pulled to the baby, the baby should be brought to breast as close as possible so that the baby's tummy is touching mother's tummy, that is tummy to tummy. And when you are offering, initial days at least, when you are offering breast to the baby should be brought in such a way that the nose touches the nipple instead of nipple going directly into the mouth. This will elicit a response which we know as, sorry, I try to run this video. Okay. So this is baby to breast, tummy to tummy, and nose to nipple. The nipple is pointed to nose of the baby, not into the mouth. So the baby will open the widely mouth and then grasp the nipple as well as areola, which is what we want. So with that grip, if the baby goes on suckling, mother will feel actually absolute pleasure, which no one else can understand or experience or even describe. I believe that's a mother can only feel that. That's extreme pleasure or satisfaction. That's why we call that when a lady becomes mother, it is her second birth, and that's a very satisfying job. So this is what it is when a baby is having a good grip. So feeding becomes absolutely painful rather enjoying. And this process of learning sometimes may take a little more few days. If the baby is given breastfeeding right from day one, right with the help of breast crawl within the first hour, there are very chances that the baby will feel less trouble. But then some babies may have trouble latching on. In that case, even in that cases, we can express the human milk. I think there will be must be some other video and discussion on that part, so I'll not go into detail. But even those conditions, please refrain from adding cow's milk or animal milk or any formula. The mother can express breast milk and give breastfeeding even in those conditions when the baby is still learning to latch. So although we are taught about that we should for assuring that baby is getting proper nutrition, we should see that whether mother is producing adequate milk or not. But I request that please stop doing any manual expression or pumping or test weighing, because all these three things are absolutely incorrect methods, because we know that every time the milk production will be different. Every time. If it is 2 kg be different, it is 4 kg different. That 4 kg takes feeding in the morning, the output will be different. In the evening, the output will be different. So this, we can never check this part. We never check our saliva when we start eating. Okay. Second part is adequate milk transfer, which is tested with the help of weight gain, urine output, stool, and the baby being satisfied to go to sleep for at least some time. But this is again an effect, not the root cause. So what we should be looking at is actually mother's comfort, baby's latch, unrestricted contact between the baby and mother, and unrestricted feeding. And the last part is a support. So if we do breastfeeding assessment wherever we think that there are problems, I'll come to that in the next slide. But if at all we need that there is something we feel urged to prescribe a galactogo or a formula, before that we should see for breastfeeding assessment, where we try to see whether mother is at comfort while feeding. That means the feeding is a restful condition for the mother or not. She can actually go to sleep while feeding. That will increase prolactin levels. Then baby's latch is proper. If there is some technical part, for example, some cleft or there is tie or thrust, then that will be corrected accordingly. And if at all, otherwise the baby is normal, then BTN and C should be reassured. Then the baby and mother should be in kangaroo mother care all the time. Let me share you that I have given KMC to my child for up to 9 to 10 months whenever it was possible. And this is absolute joy. and that should be promoted. Similarly, baby should be allowed to feed as much as is want. And believe me, if the mother is at rest, she can do it all 24 hours. I think you must be remembering a image of monkey baby who is almost continuously attached to a mother, and it suckles as and when it wants. Same is true for even kangaroo, on the name of which we have taken kangaroo mother care. And supportive environment is absolutely necessary. Let me tell you, if 100 people go and tell a mother that you might be having less milk, the mother will absolutely believe that everybody else is right. I think we can remember that the story of a Brahmin and three Dutaras from Panch. That one was going from one village to another with the help of a goat on its shoulder, and how the three people they cheated him by saying that it was a donkey, and he actually thrown away the goat. So this thing is also true for a mother who is actually in a very delicate phase of her mind at that time. So this should be done in at least all mothers who are at risk, that is in primary mother, or a mother who are having previous negative experiences, or the mother who's undergone breast surgery, or the babies who are at risk. Say preterm low birth weight babies, they have to undergo this breastfeeding assessment, or the babies who are having oropharyngeal malformations. Then if mother has any complaint which can be linked, for example, mother is having that I'm having breast painful feeding or less milk, then it has to be done. And similarly, if the baby's assessment is that if there is inadequate weight gain or less urine output, then the mother and baby should undergo breastfeeding assessment or examination. I'll stop at this point. I tried to describe the points which would avoid breastfeeding difficulties. The solutions to troubles like cracked nipple and other things will be discussed in other part, but I tried to discuss those parts which are generally neglected, how those things will not happen. I think I have taken fair enough time. Any questions at this point or later as per the organizations? I'll stop sharing.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you
Dr.
so much.
Parag, Dr. Divya, just one comment from my side.
Yes.
Dr. Parag, indeed a pleasure connecting with you once again. We met in Ahmedabad the last time, and
Yes.
your passion and dedication towards breastfeeding and making sure that each and every mother and child are so latched together, and making sure that our babies get this liquid gold or amrit. It is really very contagious, and believe me, I feel proud to say that I'm using a few of your slides in my presentation also,
Thank you,
and they are making a big difference to my presentation and my understanding. So thank you so much for being here, Dr. Parag. Over to you, Dr. Divya.
Yeah, this was an excellent presentation, sir. Really, we've benefited so much, and we'd like to take some comments from our honorable chairpersons.
Yes.
Any comments, sir, from chairpersons? Otherwise, thank you so much once again. And we move on to our next topic, which is
ma'am, Dr. Harish Doshi sir would like to say. Sir, please.
Yes, sir, please.
Yes, sir.
सर आपका आवाज नहीं आ रहा है. Unmute. We have unmuted you.
Sir, still your voice is it's showing mute.
Hello.
Certainly joins are really very impressed by your kangaroo mother care you did yourself. So nice. And I think we should call it the monkey mother care because we we actually can actually correlate it with the
Correlate
monkey.
well. Yes. Only thing is monkey is seen in our scenario as a bit down market, and that's why. But otherwise, it is very true.
So true, so true. We should just request the people to unmute everybody after the talk so that the question answers can flow. Dr. Harish Doshi, over to you for your comments.
Sir, still not getting
can't
your
hear you.
voice.
So pleasure seeing you, and thank you for your presence and for your comments. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Dr. Divya, over to you.
So we move on to our next topic, which is on hypoglycemia. And I'd like Dr. Charulata, could you introduce our speaker, please, since we cannot hear the chairpersons.
Oh, okay. So again, it is my proud privilege and pleasure to introduce Dr. Prashant Gangal. I think he is such a big name in the field of breastfeeding and lactation that he really requires no introduction to this august audience. But it is my proud privilege to mention about his achievements. He's a practicing pediatrician from Mumbai. And he's into breastfeeding advocacy and trainer as a trainer since the last 30 years. So can you imagine what fantastic speakers we have today for our particular ICOG webinar? He's been the Mother Support and Training Coordinator for the BPNI Maharashtra, the Coordinator for the Mother Support Working Group of the World Association of Breastfeeding, the chairperson in 2018 of the Global Collaboration Committee, ILCA. He has a number of projects to his name, the Mother Support Group, the Malishwali Training, the breastcrawl.org, the Hirkani Room, the 4D Clinic. So such mind-blowing concepts, and you have implemented them all. He has coordinated the training of more than 60,000 medics and paramedics in 7 states of India. And he's the regional representative in Southeast Asia, the steering council of WABA. Dr. Prashant, it is indeed a pleasure to listen to you each and every time. The last talk that you gave in Pune was such an extempore talk without your PPT, and it was so well appreciated by all. So now we look forward to yet another astonishing talk from you, Dr. Gangal. Over to you.
At the outset, let me thank ICOG, all the office bearers of ICOG, and of course my friend Karthik for getting me involved into this particular project. Now my topic is hypoglycemia, but let me continue from the last comment after Dr. Parag Dalli's lecture that which is called monkey care. One of the first comments I make to the mothers when I visit at Karthik's place in the immediate postnatal period is I tell the mothers कि आपको एक अच्छी बंदरिया बनना है और आपका काम बंदरिया से भी आसान है क्योंकि बंदरिया बच्चे को पेट के पास लेके एक पेट से दूसरे पेट की ओर जंप मारती है, लेकिन आपको एक बेड से दूसरे बेड के ऊपर भी जंप नहीं मारना है। और दूसरा ये भी बोलता हूँ कि अगर कोई बंदरिया को उसका हस्बैंड मांगेगा कि बच्चा दे दो या सास मांगी बच्चा दे दो तो अपने क्लॉज निकाल के दिखाएगी या दांत दिखाएगी। और आप सब मम्मी लोग हमेशा चाहते हैं कि मेरा हस्बैंड संभाले बच्चे को या सास संभाले, and the mother-in-laws also and dadi nanis also try to become the mother of the baby, which is very dangerous. So I tell them, don't try to become mother of the baby. आप आपके बहू का ख्याल बेटी का ख्याल रखो, आप उसको पिलाएंगे तो भी चलेगा, आप खाना खिलाएंगे तो भी चलेगा, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं चम्मच से, लेकिन बच्चे का केयर मम्मी के ऊपर छोड़ो। और यही कारण से पुराने जमाने में जब भी माँ और बच्चे को एक रूम में रखा जाता था और वो दोनों ही रहते थे एक ही रूम में, because the mother has to start learning to pick up the responsibility as a mother, and that room had no windows because the day and night should not work on the mother. रात को बच्चे ने सोने को नहीं दिया, दिन में बच्चे को सोने को नहीं दिया. So to remove some of the old things we have probably had a lot of logic at that particular time. And also, if you can imagine 10,000 years back, the mothers must have delivered when there was no Reliance Power, Adani Power. Mothers must be sitting somewhere deep inside the cave in the cold environment with total darkness. And how she must have cared for the babies for many, many months. That was only on the chest like kangaroo, because there was no place to keep the baby down, because baby would have been bitten by ants or serpents or whatever. And I tell at Karthik's place, I assure you that there are no rats or serpents, but there are germs on the floor which can attack your baby. So you better keep your baby close to you like a monkey. Okay, all that apart, you are just anecdotes. And let me start with share my presentation. Are you able to see my presentation? Okay.
Yes, go on the slideshow mode.
Okay. Now, hypoglycemia and exclusive breastfeeding. This presentation was prepared by me and one of our lactation consultants, Dr. Sarita Bhagwat, for BPNI Maharashtra. So I must acknowledge that. Now, our steps which have been assigned to me and Parag Bhai were 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 6 is exclusive breastfeeding, 7 is bedding in, 8 is Q-based feeding. So I'll just try to show you how these steps are related to each other. Now, hypoglycemia is very important because there is something called hypoglycemophobia. Among pediatricians, neonatologists, and obstetricians, first the neonatologist goes into tension, and then obstetrician goes into tension, and then there is a flood of supplements and top milk which comes in. After looking at the practices while going for assessing BFHI, let me tell you and assure you that 100% of babies delivered by cesarean in private nursing homes are given supplement in the first few days of life till the time they are, especially in first 48 hours. And 50% of normal babies also given supplements. The situation in public hospitals or government hospitals is much better than the situation in private hospitals. The doctors and the nurses together have lost confidence that normal full-term newborn can just survive on mother's milk. And part of this fear comes from two things. One is the fear of hypoglycemia, number one. And number two, nobody wants a crying baby. So I'll also discuss why the babies cry. And if there is no crying, and if there is no fear of hypoglycemia, probably our babies will do pretty well. Now, taking forward from Dr. Parag's talk, what I would like to tell you that there are two myths which also need to be broken. Quite a few times I've heard obstetricians and pediatricians telling the mother that दूध पिलाओ, दूध है, पहले दिन से दूध बराबर आता है. That is one comment. Now, there is one second thing is that थोड़ा भी दूध आएगा तो भी ठीक है, ये तो श्रीखंड बासुंदी जैसा है, घट है, बहुत ताकत है इसमें, इसलिए बच्चे के लिए पूरा हो जाएगा. Now, both these myths need to be assessed. The milk is really less in first few days of life, and it is only 40 to 50 ml on day one. So we cannot tell the mothers that milk abhi chalu ho gaya, aap pilao, milega bachche ko. The milk is really less. It is almost 35 to 40 ml, 50 ml at the most, let's say. So per feed bachche is going to get only 5 to 6 ml. And as Dr. Parag showed, will it satisfy baby's hunger? Yes, hunger gets satisfied when stomach gets full. So कोई एक वड़ा पाव में भूख मिट जाती है, किसी की दो वड़ा पाव में मिट जाती है. तो जो छोटा पेट है, 7 ml की capacity है on day one, the 5 ml to 6 ml per feed is going to fill baby's stomach and will take care of his hunger. Why the baby keeps on suckling? Because the baby wants to maintain that connection with the mother, getting a smell, getting a touch, and hearing her heartbeat and hearing her sound. So the second myth is that it's like Shrikhand and Basundi. Let me tell you, and you'll be surprised to know that mature milk contains 75 calories per 100 ml. But colostrum contains less. It is not Shrikhand or Basundi. There may be more immunoglobulins, but calorie-wise, it is poorer than the mature milk. It has only 77 to 72 calories per 100 ml. That means on day one, 50 ml of colostrum will give the baby just about 35 calories. Now, what is the energy requirement of the baby? The energy requirement of the baby
Prashant,
is...
your slides are not moving. Your slides are not moving.
No, I am not moving the slides right now. I'm just, this is my prologue. Okay, so I'm yet to start with my hypoglycemia scientific presentation, but I thought that prologue was necessary to build up that tempo to understand the slides. So that 35 calories, the caloric requirement of the baby is 100 ml of 100 calories per kg. So 3 kg baby would need 300 calories. But if colostrum is going to give just 35 or 50 calories, where will the baby get the remaining 250 calories? God is very clever, you know. भगवान बच्चों को एक डब्बा देके भेजता है. तो डब्बा is in terms of brown fat to generate heat, and in terms of glycogen which is there. So डब्बा is placed in liver. तो ये डब्बा खुलेगा कैसे? खुलजा सिमकिम क्या है? तिड़ा तिड़ा दार दुगड़ क्या है? तो खुलजा सिमसिम is frequency of feeding. So what Dr. Parag mentioned, babies need to be fed more frequently. The traditional teaching is that babies need demand feeding. Demand feeding only after 15 days after the baby and mother has settled down, baby has started putting on good weight and the urine output is good. But in first 15 days, it is at least 10 times in 24 hours. So it can be 15 times, 20 times, 24 बार करो तो और अच्छा है. तो बार बार फीके थे. कोई माँ को आप बोलने को जाएंगे कि बार बार पिलाओ, 2-2 घंटे से पिलाओ. The first difficulty mother says is that बच्चा सोता रहता है, उठता नहीं है. And Dr. Parag very nicely told you how to wake up a sleepy baby. Of course, not by irritated, scratching the sole or twisting the ears. So baby may become hungry before that. So Dr. Parag also told you what are the early feeding cues. So these early feeding cues are very important. So let me tell you a scientific statement which was made by PCNA in 2013. The level of blood glucose is directly proportional to frequency of feeding. So the most important...
Sir, your slide is not moving.
I am aware. I don't want to move the slides.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay,
Yes, doctor. Yes.
then wait. I will change the slides after 2 minutes. So the frequency of feeding is most important. And the most important scientific statement of my talk of 30 minutes is that blood glucose levels are directly proportional to frequency of feeding. And bilirubin levels are inversely proportional to frequency of feeding. So the key to move towards step number 6 for exclusive breastfeeding is maintain frequency feeding of at least 10 times in 24 hours. And one of the civil hospitals in Maharashtra where we are trying to do the baby friendly hospital initiative, after hearing our talk, they made a very revolutionary decision. They fitted an alarm in the ward, and every 2 hours the alarm would go off, and all the nurses and ayabais will move amongst the mothers, telling them that open up the babies, give them skin to skin touch, and start feeding. So frequency is the crucial and the most important input that every nursing home wants to give. Now, when you're insisting or interested in the frequency feeding and exclusive breastfeeding, it is also very important that we also monitor the output and monitor the weight, whether baby is getting adequate feeding or not. Because that 35 ml, it may not be sufficient for a small percentage of babies and who might need supplements. So just like we give drugs only during disease states and not otherwise, we need to give drugs, we need to give supplement only if it is required. So which baby we need to do? See the stools of the baby clinically. Day 1, 1 stool, day 2, 2 stool, day 3, 3 stool, day 4, 4 stool. And from day 5, the baby should start passing very frequent yellow stools. The traditional teaching of adequacy of frequent urination and weight gain doesn't work. It works only after 15 days, not in the first 15 days. So clinically on the round, please try to see the stool, the frequency of stool and color of the stool. That's most important. Second important part is weight. From 0, 3, 7, 14 and 28 days, we need to weigh the baby. A normal baby would lose something like 7 to 8%, maybe like little more than that. Any baby who loses more than 10% of the birth weight is at a risk. So you need to assess the attachment, positioning, and also probably give express milk and rule out diseases. Beyond 12.5% weight loss is something like the baby is likely to have hypernatremia. So these babies will need admission to NICU. So we need to monitor stools clinically. We need to check the weight, calculate percentage, and do an analysis. Urine output after passing the first urine in first 3-4 days of life, in any 24 hours, even if the baby passes urine once, that is more than enough. Quite a few times in nursing home, the outside milk is given or supplement is given just because the baby has passed urine only 2 or 3 times. So let me make it very loud and clear to all the obstetricians over here that after passing the first urine, first 3-4 days, passing urine only once in 24 hours also is enough. And that gives a clue to the adequacy. So these are on the background. So follow-up of babies is necessary. 7 to 8% weight loss on day 3 and 4. Then the baby, as the milk comes in, urine output increases, the weight becomes static, and it should start increasing. Any baby who is passing green stools on day 7 and 8 and not started putting on weight, the baby is at risk. And the baby should, day 7 weight should be more than day 3 weight, but lesser than birth weight. And day 14 weight, all normal babies should cross the birth weight latest by day 14, or at least show that tendency on day 9 and 10. So if the babies have lost weight and they are not regaining, are not crossing birth weight, is the most important public health parameter that all hospitals should try to track their babies if they have crossed their birth weight by day 14. It's not difficult into this era. So on this background and on this particular axis, how steps 6, 7, and 8 are related, and mother can identify early feeding cues and feed comfortably only if the child is co-sleeping or in the same bed. So we must promote bedding in. It is only the bedding which promotes, cue-based feeding. The mother can identify the cues. Okay, so let me start the slides for which you are all eager to see the slides. So let me start with some complicated stuff. The glucose physiology has to be discussed in terms of glycogenesis, the formation of glycogen, glycogenolysis, the dabba in liver to release the glucose by lysis of glycogen, and neoglucogenesis in formation of new sugar. So let's see that metabolism in fetus and newborn. Now, fetus has different metabolism, newborn has different metabolism. So let me compare this with a not very rich family who probably some money flow is occurring continuously. Let's say a middle class and higher middle class family. So fetus is like, the family with abundant money coming in, because baby keeps on getting, the fetus keeps on getting glucose from the mother continuously in good amounts. So there's a lot of money which is coming in. The predominant hormone is, because there is a lot of sugar available, is insulin. And therefore the glucagon is less and insulin glucagon ratio is more. When the money is more, obviously the family makes more fixed deposits. So there is glycogenesis and they don't have to break the FD. So there's glycogenolysis, obviously less. You don't need to do side business to earn money. So neoglucogenesis is formation of glucose from non-glucose substrates, has to be less. And when you have good money coming in, you don't have to use the wood for fire. You are for cooking your things. You can have a normal gas and you can pay the gas bill and get the cylinder also, even though it is costly. So fetus is like a middle class family with good money flow from it. The newborn is like suddenly the income has dried up. Because there is no more placenta and no more umbilical cord, the glucose flow gets restricted. So glucose level is not there. Because there is no money, the insulin doesn't come into picture. Insulin levels go down, glucagon levels go up, and because of this, the FDs start getting broken down and not getting formed. So glycogenesis is less, glycogenolysis is more, and a family has to start some side business. So there is a neoglucogenesis coming in, and family would probably start using wood also. So there is alternative fuel which is ketone. Though your adult brain cannot use ketones very easily, but newborns can. So newborns just don't survive. Newborn brain does, our body does not survive on glucose. They survive on alternative fuel also. So feeding glucose water. Now on this background, if you give out of fear or something, you give glucose water to the baby, what happens is that it increases insulin secretion, decreases glucagon, and delays initiation of natural metabolic changes to maintain blood sugar level. So all newborns, all mammalian newborns, the sugars will drop, and the trough, maybe if you're surprised to know, it may be as low as 30, 35 also. So that happens in normal babies. But the baby immediately recovers because glucagon shoots up, the steroids shoot up, the sympathetic system shoots up, and the sugar levels go up. So normal full-term newborn does not need any supplementation because after this trough, but we should take care that this trough does not worsen because of our deeds like AC going on in the operation theater or in the labor room, or not wiping the baby properly, or not wrapping the baby well, or something like maintain temperature by contact with the mother. So delay in now feeding glucose water will of course then delay initiation of these changes. Now colostrum contains protein and fat, provides substrate for neoglucogenesis. It enhances ketogenesis, increases gut mobility and gastric emptying time. So rapid absorption of nutrients is permitted. Breast milk facilitates by providing gluconeogenesis amino acid precursors which are not given by supplement, not provided by supplemental milk. Long chain fatty acid which initiates transcription of carnitine palmitoyl transferase, which is enzyme for ketogenesis, and lactose, it minimizes insulin secretion. So glucose water will of course be quite some monosaccharide. So that should not be given. Now, key message is an early and exclusive breastfeeding will maintain sugar in newborns. No need to routinely supplement full-term newborns with water, dextrose, or formula. Keep on maintaining the frequency of breastfeeding. The mother's output will increase and baby will get all the things which are necessary to support the changing metabolism. So routine screening for hypoglycemia is not indicated. Now, various risk factors, all of you know, where baby's sugar can go down. But what is in our hands is to give good skin-to-skin contact so the temperature is maintained and frequent feeding is assured. Provide bedding in Q-based feeding. Now, a risk factor, the commonest is gestational diabetes mellitus. So that I will discuss in my discussion on diabetes. Labor and delirium management has to be good. Where avoid giving dextrose and water solution because that shoots up the fetal insulin. Infant separation from the mother should be avoided. Temperature should be maintained, and baby should not be allowed to cry. बच्चे ने मुंह खोला छाती मुंह में, छाती मुंह खोला छाती मुंह में. So if you allow the babies, you follow the cues, the babies will not cry. Babies cry only after they get irritated because mother is not feeding them. Now symptoms of low sugar can be adrenergic like tremulousness or irritability, or they can be because of reduced glucose to the brain in terms of lethargy, convulsions, hypotonia, etc. So first feeding has to be early. So Dr. Karthik and Dr. Vani will discuss that, how to start the feeding. The first sugar has to be good. Blood sugar directly proportional frequency, I have told you. At least 10 times in 24 hours, the babies have to feed. And demand feeding is recommended after 15 days, not before that. Early infant feeding cues, Dr. Parag has discussed, but it's a good slide. You must put up these posters in the postnatal ward and scissor ward. Strategies to wake up babies, Dr. Parag has already told you. Cold stress should be prevented. at-risk babies need to be monitored, like infant or diabetic mothers. Large babies means more than 4 kg approximately, or less than 2.5 kg, borderline prematures, newborns with feeding difficulty. Any baby who has not fed, in spite of trying to stimulate, is the baby at risk. One of the most dangerous early feeding cue for a baby who has not been fed properly, has not been given too early feeding, is going into more sleep. And these are the babies who go into hypoglycemia. In general, up till now, the concept was that the blood sugar has to be maintained more than 45 mg/%, but I will come to that. 45 milligrams is not the gospel truth now. In fact, it has become very difficult for the scientists by using any method to find out what is the safe sugar for the newborns. And our with new recent discoveries now, recent papers, our idea of sugars levels have kept dropping down. And something like 35, as long as the baby is asymptomatic, sugars may be low, but he is utilizing his ketones. That's why the baby has no symptoms. Of course, that these babies need to be monitored, but we don't have to be scared of sugars like 35, 37, 40 or something of that kind, because our ideas of what is normality, the trough of normality, has been changing with the years, and we are moving towards the lower and lower point. And as long as the baby is fine and is feeding well, symptomatic hypoglycemia should be treated with IV glucose. And again, transient single brief episodes of hypoglycemia are not probably neurotoxic. So that transient trough and then shooting up of sugar above 45 occurs in most of the babies. So we shouldn't be worried about it. Only the prolonged hypoglycemia that is neurotoxic. Now, of course, supporting the mother, one good idea for gestational diabetes mellitus, which is the commonest reason now in the nursing homes where supplements need to be given, is that antenatal harvesting of colostrum can be after 36 weeks. Mother I don't have time to discuss the harvesting before delivery, and that can be kept in refrigerator and used in these cases where mom's own milk can be provided. And of course, skin to skin contact is most important. Skin is also an organ which is fully developed along with smell at birth. Now this basic presentation gets over. Now let's move to management of neonatal hypoglycemia for babies who are more than 35 weeks. All in this very important slide where safe skin-to-skin care has to be given. The babies have to be kept warm, promote breast milk and breastfeeding expression during the first hour of birth, and keep on feeding the babies. Good initiation, good skin-to-skin contact. Let me also tell you that babies who have been fed well and who had a very nice first breastfeed with good skin-to-skin contact may go into a stage of contentment. And these babies may not take feeds for next 6 to 8 hours. So as long as their sugars are maintained, as long as these babies are otherwise normal, we don't have to hurry up with giving supplements to these babies. Of course, the babies who are at risk, babies less than 2.5 kg, need to be given supplement, mom's own milk or express milk. If they are showing signs of, they are irritable or they are showing jitteriness, then that needs to be taken care of. Infants at risk should have be addressed separately, and infants with signs of hypoglycemia, of course, there the IV glucose has to be given. And so we clearly have to address babies who are neurologically otherwise normal, feeding well, and babies who are showing signs of low sugar, and these are the babies which have to take a very drastic action. Now, this guideline does not delineate an exclusive course of treatment or serve as a standard of medical care. Now, since scientists have not been able to define what are the safe sugar, lowest sugar levels in the newborns, the people have been talking of something like operational, levels of glucose, where according to condition of the baby and according to sugar levels, the levels have been defined at what action you will take. So we can call them action-oriented sugar levels. Now, variations in treatment may be appropriate according to needs of an individual patient. So this we already discussed. Again, the same thing, early breastfeeding and supplemental feeds within 1 hour. In some civil hospitals, they really taught us a lesson. Even any baby gets shifted to premature unit or NICU for whatever the reason, the mother has to start expressing milk within hours of delivery and continuing with at least 8 times in 24 hours and at least one expression at night. Because quite a few times mothers don't express their milk where the baby has been transferred to NICU, and only after 3 to 4 days, once the baby starts taking milk, that the mother is asked to express milk, by which time she has already started drying up. And therefore, the civil hospitals taught us that when the baby gets shifted to a premature unit, the baby gets transferred, whether from cesarean, whether from OT, or whether from labor room, with a syringe of colostrum, because the colostrum on day 1 contains 12,000 units of antibody, which drops to 2,000 units at day 2. So just applying the colostrum inside the baby's mouth, and of course in toxic babies, where the baby may be on ventilator but can get colostrum and mother's milk, because that contains intestinal growth factors. So again, quite a few cases of where the hypoglycemia is because of hyperinsulinemia, like the mother's your gestational diabetes mellitus, where the sugars keep on stimulating baby's insulin, and the baby's insulin is very high. At other cases of hypoglycemia because of low stores, like a severely IUGR baby, where there are hardly any fat stores or hardly any glycogen levels. So there are two kinds which you must be able to identify. Again, the signs, as I told you, the few signs of sympathetic irritation, and secondly, signs of brain getting lesser and lesser sugar, so hypotonia, irritability, and other things. Now, I'm not going to go into details because this is not a neonatology conference. So the treatment guidelines, now this particular protocol which I'm discussing has been taken from the protocol given by Academy of Breastfeeding Medicine, which is like has multiple protocols. In fact, all of you can go to the website of Academy of Breastfeeding Medicine, and they have almost 35 to 40 protocols. And this I found to be the best. And I'm currently using this protocol, which was given in 2021. So of course, any sugar newborn with a sugar of 20 to 25. Again, any sugar level which is low has to be confirmed by laboratory data. But the problem is that if you send the blood to the laboratory, you get report after 3 to 4 hours. So where the immediate lab reports are available, any low sugar in the baby, any sugar less than 45 should be corroborated with the lab reports. So any sugar is between 20 and 25, some new form of treatment in form of glucose gel, unfortunately is not available with us. So when you people travel out of India, while getting few other things, you can also get these sachets also, which can be pretty useful. Before you put the IV line, I would recommend that the baby should get IV line has to be established. Apply glucose level till the time if there is a delay in establishing the IV line, and of course the breastfeeding or supplementary feeding as tolerated should be given, and this baby should be given a bolus of sugar 1 to 2 ml per kg of 10% dextrose, and then the babies check the sugars again. The sugars have come up between 35 and 45, then you can give additional feeds and try to get it up. Of course, any symptomatic baby with sugar levels less than 45 needs to be given IV glucose and then continued with a drip of 10% dextrose. Recheck plasma glucose. So this particular new form of treatment has come in. Between the sugars between, let's say, 25 and 35, again, the same protocol would work. I would put in an IV line. Consider IV glucose if, in spite of giving the supplemental milk or giving priority to mom's own milk or milk bank milk, if that is not available, give supplements and expect the sugars to go above 35. Give additional feeds and try to get it above 45. The babies stabilize their sugar levels roughly, you can say above 54 and 60 by 48 hours of life. So any baby beyond 48 hours of life, any sugar we would expect to be at least above 54, 57, that particular range. So any baby where we have doubt about the clinical signs, please establish an IV line so that you can use IV 10% dextrose if you feel that the baby is becoming symptomatic and the sugars are not improving by giving the supplements or giving mom's own milk or milk bank milk. Again, rechecking the glucose very frequently is important in this case. Glucose gel would definitely make our problems a little less. Again, sugar levels of 35 and 45, though we were quite uncomfortable about these levels a few years back, we know that these are not drastically emergency levels. Apply glucose gel, give milk feeding, and after giving milk feeding, mom's own milk, that is not available, then milk bank milk, and then supplements if required, and let the sugars go above 45. So in the first 48 hours, blood sugar more than 45, of course, you don't have to worry. Watch for symptoms, and the treatment may be given only if required. Now I'll stop sharing the screen. Only 3 minutes are remaining. So what I would like to tell the August gathering over here is that hypoglycemia is something which has to be anticipated and given the preventive measures. frequency of feeding, skin to skin contact, early initiation, and at first good feed is extremely important for maintaining baby sugar. A baby is expected to take at least 10 feeds in 24 hours. A baby, in spite of every effort from the obstetrician or the nurses to wake the baby is not waking up and not taking the feeds. Any gap between about 3 to 4 hours, you must check this baby's sugar and see if the baby has gone into hypoglycemia. So Q-based feeding, bedding in, early initiation, and frequent feeding is the key. The lowermost sugar level, as the science now telling us, we should not, some practical tips. Gestational diabetic mother gets delivered. Previously, we used to say that do the sugar at half an hour. But now the new protocol says that about definitely before 60 minutes you have to read. So I have been started doing the level just before 1 hour, because if you do it too early, you might get drastically low levels, which are of course physiological. And giving mom's own milk or supplements to where baby is pakka gestational diabetes mellitus, then and large baby, diabetic baby, you can give the mom's own milk, milk bank milk or supplements and expect the 1 hour sugar to be normal. So other IUGR and other babies are concerned, you don't have to hurry up with the sugar levels. The sugar levels have to be done before the second breastfeed. So at around 3 to 4 hours of life, because if you do it too early, you might be prompted to give treatment. And again, the papers are telling us that over treatment or aggressive treatment can be dangerous for the baby. It can also produce as much a reverse response as the hypoglycemia. So don't get scared of hypoglycemia, act properly, and again, the key is frequency of feeding. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for an excellent presentation. We are so thankful to you. Can we invite some comments from the honorable chairpersons? Dr. Manglavani, would you like to say anything, ma'am?
Yes, that has been such a wonderful lecture, Dr. Gangal sir. And it is very, very practical that he spoke. You know, what the authorities say, ki for the term baby, if we are initiating the breastfeeding within 1 hour and giving frequent breastfeeding, at least 2 hourly to start with, then even there is no need to do the routine blood sugar estimations of the baby. Isn't that right, Dr. Gangal?
Yes, of course. Full-term babies, no blood sugars.
Only
Unless
for
the baby is not feeding.
Yeah, or the growth retarded baby. Because if we do the sugars, actually we make the mothers more anxious, and also mother's confidence is in less. You know, so our job is to put the baby to the breast crawl and initiate the breastfeeding within 1 hour and give the baby frequent breastfeeding at least 10 times in 24 hours to begin with, at least for 7 to 10 days. And only the babies which are at high risk or the babies which are preterm, you know, those babies needs to be monitored. What happens, we don't actually, we are not good seeing the baby's latch. We are not good in seeing whether there is an effective milk transfer happens or not. And then those babies are discharged at home. And we just tell the mother, you give your milk only, you only breastfeed. And that is where the problem happens. There is no follow-up, and there is a sudden weight loss of the babies, and then those babies are then admitted to the NICU. So that even at discharge, the monitoring is very important.
So thank you, ma'am. And now we move on to the next session, session 3, which is on initiation of breastfeeding. And the first topic is breast crawl and cord management initiation in LSCS. And the topic is, the speaker is Dr. Karthikeya Bhagat, none other than him. And to invite the chairpersons, our honorable chairpersons, we have Dr. Nitin Trivedi. Dr. Nitin Trivedi is a pediatrician. Yes, please share the screen, CVs. So Dr. Nitin Trivedi is a pediatrician and neonatologist from BJ Medical College, Ahmedabad. And his work experiences, he's been in the Civil Hospital, Amravati, and Shiv Shakti Hospital. And he is skilled as a lactation management, kangaroo mother care and family care, nutrition, vaccination, preventive pediatrics, and a yoga teacher. So sir is a multifaceted person, and we'd love to hear from you, sir. our next chairperson is. Kindly change the CV slide, please. Our next chairperson is Dr. Shashwat Jani, who is a gynecologist. He's a consultant assistant professor in Ahmedabad Municipal Medical College and a managing committee member of AOGS. And he has been invited as a faculty in many international conferences, and his special interest is in infertility, endoscopy, and high-risk pregnancy. I would also like to invite Dr. Sneha Bhuyer, who couldn't join us in the earlier topics. Everybody knows Dr. Sneha Bhuyer, ma'am. She was a chairperson of breast committee earlier, and she is very well known to all of us. So over to the chairpersons to invite the speaker.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. I am Dr. Nitin Trivedi. As our the session 3 first topic is on the breast crawl, it's a crawl plus cord management, and it is during the LSCS time. It's a video presentation, and Dr. Kartikeya Bhagat is going to take this lecture. Since the beginning of this CM certified course, early how we can be a baby-friendly hospital initiative friendly. Dr. Kartikeya is a consultant obstetrician and gynecologist, and is running a Grace Hospital. It's a baby-friendly hospital. And as our last speaker, Dr. Parag sir, and he has done a lot of work in the initiation of breastfeeding and by breast crawl during UNICEF 2007. And he is a IBCLS consultant also. And he is a past president of AFG. He is honorary secretary of the Akroli Row Municipal Maternity Home. And he has made a neonatal registration for birth attendant for perinatology committee in FOGSI. So I welcome you, Kartikeya sir. The stage is yours. Welcome, sir.
Thank you so much for the kind introduction. No, in the gynec circles, they don't consider me a gynecologist. They call me a pediatrician. And and whatever I've learned, the credit goes to Dr. Prashant Gangal. He's been the ringmaster after whatever we've done. Because he's been after us, we've developed these ideas and started doing the breast crawl. What begins well ends well as well. So it is the beginning which is very important. Now, over the next 3 days, we are going to look at different aspects of baby care. Now, the care of the baby is not just the domain of the obstetricians. It is the obstetrician, the pediatrician, both who are responsible for the welfare of the baby. And as I said earlier, the responsibility of the obstetrician doesn't go away just at the birth. It remains till the baby is exclusively breastfed or learned until breastfeeding is established. Now, let me share my screen. Okay. Dr. Sheila Mane started with the history of the breastfeeding movement. So in 1989, WHO and UNICEF published a document called Protecting, Promoting, and Supporting Breastfeeding, where they stressed the role of maternity services. The 10 steps, as Prashant enumerated earlier, were talked about in the initial document. What they said is this: each step is important, but when you do all the 10 steps together, the effort, the impact is much better. So we will be talking about step 4. In 1998, another document was published called the Evidence for the 10 Steps to Successful Breastfeeding. BFHI was described in 1990, and they made certain changes in 2009, where they said that skin-to-skin contact is important, continued first contact till breastfeeding is complete and initiation within an hour of birth. They also stressed important on the cue-based feeding. In 2015, neo-BFHI was described, where 3 guiding principles were talked about the neonatal unit. And in 2018, the BFHI initiative was revised. The 10 steps remain the same, but as Prashant described earlier, step 1 and 2 were described in more details, where we said that IMS Act should be followed, not in letter, but in principle as well. Policy has to be there and established data management systems. Now, UNICEF, WHO, WABA, and all the other government agencies and NGOs advocate exclusive breastfeeding for the first 6 months of life and continue breastfeeding till the 2nd birthday with proper weaning foods. All the agencies recommend that skin-to-skin contact should be given soon after birth and breastfeeding should be initiated in the first hour of birth. But no agency describes a method for skin-to-skin contact and assumes that the baby needs help to breastfeed. Till date, we have neglected the abilities of the newborn and wrongly assumed that the baby needs help to feed. Remember, the baby is most alert and active in the first hour of birth. It is called state 4, the state of reactivity, the quiet state of consciousness, and tends to fall asleep in the 2 hours after birth. Every newborn, when placed on the mother's abdomen soon after birth, has the ability to find the mother's breast all on her own and to decide when to take the first breastfeed. This is called the breast crawl. Breast crawl takes care of 2 components, the skin-to-skin contact and the first breastfeed. Now, it was Anne-Marie Widstrom who described, working at Karolinska Institute in Sweden in 1987, described 9 stages of reactivity while in skin-to-skin contact. She said that immediately after birth, the child was dried and laid on the mother's chest. The control group, and immediately after birth, the child was dried and laid on the mother's chest. In the control group, a regular behavior sequence previously not described in literature was observed. After 15 minutes of inactivity, spontaneous suckling and rooting movements occurred, reaching maximum intensity at 45 minutes. Then hand-to-hand movements were observed at 34 minutes, and at 55 minutes, the infant spontaneously found the nipple and started to suckle. These findings suggest that an organized feeding behavior develops in a predictable way during the first hours of life, initially expressed only as spontaneous suckling and rooting movements, soon followed by hand-to-hand activity together with more intense suckling and rooting activity, and culminating in suckling of at the breast. The 9 stages of newborn behavior described were birth cry, relaxation, awakening, activity, reset, crawling, familiarization, suckling, and sleeping. It was Dr. Marshall Kloss, a pediatrician, who reviewed many of these studies and gave a beautiful description of breast crawl. He said the baby is born with many instinctive abilities which enable her to perform the breast crawl. With all these innate programs, the infant seems to come into life carrying a small computer chip with a set of instructions. It appears that the young humans, like other baby animals, know how to find their mother's breast. The credit for using the word breast crawl as a noun should go to Marshall Kloss, because till now, all the studies used it as a verb. His work on the support of social support during parturition led to the work of, or the presence of, birth attendant, and he worked with doulas. We said that the newborn is most alert in the first hour of birth. The newborn, when kept on the mother's abdomen, lies with his eyes wide open, gazing at the mother's face. The newborn is capable of not only recognizing the mother's face, but also differentiates the mother's voice soon after birth. The child gazes at the mother. The child starts making hand-to-mouth movements. The amniotic fluid on the hands smells similar to the chemicals on the areola and the nipple. So the baby's sense of smell propels her towards the mother's breasts. The baby makes upper and lower body movements. Initially, the baby moves on one side with the hand outstretched. It raises its head, actually does a push-up and moves forward. The lower body movements also help to propel the baby forward. This is breast crawl till the time it reaches the mother's breast and takes the first feed. The breast crawl provides ideal inputs to the baby for proper sensory motor development in the future. And this is the method which helps initiation of breastfeeding in the most natural way. Now all this is theory, and I'm sure you will not believe what I tell you. So let me prove it to you. Let's hear the story in pictures. You see the baby awake, gazing at the mother. The babies start salivation. Then there are hand-to-mouth movements. The baby makes suckling sounds. The chemical on the hand smells like the chemical on the breast. And the dark areola is an area which the baby wants to go to. Then the baby starts its head movements and hand movements. The baby actually pushes itself up. It stretches arm on one side. That is where the baby wants to go. And ultimately, with leg movements, reaches it. I'm going to show you these pictures in a fast mode so that you'll see what actually happens. These are the leg movements. The baby flexes his legs and actually pushes itself up. This also stimulates the uterus, which probably reduces the incidence of PPH. Suckling also will release oxytocin, which helps in the treatment of postpartum hemorrhage. And the baby reaches the breast and feeds. Now, this is what actually should happen. But what happens in the most labor rooms is once the baby is born, the oropharyngeal suction is done. The cord is clamped. The baby is dried thoroughly. Orogastric tube is passed to empty the stomach contents. Vitamin K is given. The baby is weighed. The baby is given a bath. The baby is wrapped up and then given to the mother. By then, the infant is separated from the mother. The mother is moved out of the labor room. When she reaches the ward, there's a horde of relatives waiting, congratulating. And the baby is left alone. Generally, glucose water or top milk is given to the baby by then, and the opportunity is lost. So can we change these practices? Yes, but you need to be ready for it. So once you realize, see, I was in the same position as most of us are, and we never thought about the baby. But once we had a pediatrician who was keen on breastfeeding, we realizes that there are so many changes that we need to make in our birthing practices. So have you been able to do it? Let's see. One, how do you deliver the baby? Once the baby delivers, if the baby cries, you don't need to suction. So if the baby cries well and the baby is breathing well, then once you deliver the baby, put it on the mother's abdomen without cutting the cord. So you deliver the baby on the abdomen. Delay cord clamping. This will give some amount of cord blood to the baby, which will prevent anemia at the age of 3. Once the baby is placed on the abdomen, then we need to suture the episiotomy. So we started suturing the episiotomy while the baby was doing breast crawl. So this is one way of minimizing the lack of contact. Then we realized that the most common cause of breaking the skin-to-skin contact after birth was the pediatrician. And the pediatrician would come in, he would want to see the baby, confirm that the baby is fine, and then put the baby again on the breast. So Prashant started examining babies on the mother's breast. So this is basically to prevent a break in the skin-to-skin contact. Once the episiotomy is sutured, so we invited the husband to come in and and take part in the breast crawl, so that contact is not broken and the family is informed about what happens. Can we do it after cesarean section? Of course, definitely we can do it. So once the cesarean section was over, we started putting the baby on the mother's abdomen. But then we realized that that also is the gap of almost 30 to 45 minutes. So can we do it while the cesarean section is being done? Of course, we call it reverse breast crawl. So once the baby is born, while the cesarean is going on, the baby is kept on the mother from the side of the anesthetist end. And the baby is given the first feed. Can we do it with twins? Of course, we can handle twins. So this is how twins are handled on the OT table after birth. And this is how the twins are handled in the wards. It's difficult, but not impossible if you do it. Now, in order to do that, you can't do this alone. As I said in the beginning, the management of the baby depends on what your staff does. You are not there all the time. You are there at the time of delivery. You are there to give instructions. The pediatrician is there to give instructions and supervise, but the baby is with the staff nurses all the time. So if you don't train your staff nurses, your baby-friendly hospital setup cannot occur and exclusive breastfeeding may suffer. So step 1 says that you must have a policy which is kept outside a nursing home to be displayed and read. In the wards or in the reception, information is kept for patients to read while they are waiting for their turn. This is the pamphlet which describes Shishu Portion application and the Breastfeeding Promotion Network of India website. Step 2 is training of the staff. So we take lectures for our staff nurses, teaching them how to, about breast crawl, about the physiology, about the problems, and then, about neonatal resuscitation. So no hospital can function with only normal babies. There will be babies who will need help. So you need to train your staff to do all that, because that is the backbone of your maternity care. Then step 3 is giving information to the patient. So we have antenatal classes. We start doing antenatal classes at around 28 weeks onwards, where we invite mothers who are going to deliver in the next 2 months. We talk to them about labor, delivery, and baby care. So these interactive sessions are done with the pediatrician and the mother support group counselor. So we take sessions for the mothers. Now, initially, we used to talk only to the mothers. Then we realized that the one who calls shots is the mother-in-law. So then we invited the mother-in-law for these classes. Then we realized that both of them really don't work out well. So the only person who can fight the mother-in-law is the husband. So we invited the father-in-law. So and we have a father support group. Now, step 10 of BFHI says that there has to be a support group, and that is what was created here for the first time. Now, once the patient is shifted into the wards, what are the baby-friendly practices you can have? One is the bedding in. So the baby sleeps in the bed with the mother. The husband is encouraged to help the mother initiate breastfeed and take care of the baby. Once the baby is born, like diabetic mothers, we express the colostrum, especially cesarean babies and diabetic mothers, with either a chamach or with a syringe, as Prashant was talking. In the wards, we minimize human contact, so restrict the number of relations coming in, encourage mother, the father and the baby to be together all the time. Kangaroo care is what is appreciated. So they keep the baby in skin-to-skin contact with the mother as much as possible. We don't encourage the father to do it in the hospital, but he can do it as well. And any family member can do it. As an outshoot, see, we all started as a standard nursing home. We had a pediatrician who was baby-friendly, so we started thinking of baby-friendly practices. Then, as the discussions went on, we said that, in spite of talking to the mother, the father, and the mother-in-law, the breastfeeding rates were still low. Then we realized that it is the Malish Wali Bais who goes into each household to take care of the babies. So then we said that if we teach all these Bais to take care of the babies sensibly, then probably things will work faster, because the mother-in-law will not counter the Malish Wali Bai. Chali jayegi to kaun karega? So we trained around 600 Malish Wali Bais and gave them certificates. As an offshoot, we said that what happens in the workplace, once the baby is gone home, then the mother has to start working. These days, we have a lot of working mothers. So Prashant developed this idea of Hirkani's room. Now, Hirkani was a maid, was a cow maid who supplied milk to the Peshwas. So once she went into the fort on the mountain and the fort gates were closed, then she had left a baby down. So she went down the mountain in the middle of the night and tried just to feed her baby. So we call these rooms Hirkani's room, and these are rooms which have been designed in workplaces. This is the picture in a rural tribal area. Then with the help of Community Medicine Department of St. G.S. Medical College, UNICEF, BPNI, and Mumbai Breastfeeding Promotion Committee, an app was designed for Android phones. It's called the Shishu Poshan app. So we encourage our mothers to download this app. All the information about breastfeeding is on this app. And of course, the BPNI Maharashtra website, which is interactive and takes care of all their questions, their FAQs. I urge all of you to check out the film on breast crawl. If you type breast crawl on YouTube, the first site which opens is called Initiation of Breastfeeding by Breast Crawl. It's a beautiful video Dr. Prashant Gangal has made for UNICEF in 2009. So please see this video. I'm not showing you the video for lack of time, but please visit the site and see the video. It's a beautiful thing which was shot in a workshop in Nandurbar. So our journey began. We had discussions and fights. Then the best thing was that when we started talking about breast crawl, the staff was averse to the change, but we talked to them. And what changed was when they saw the baby doing the breast crawl, and they were amazed. So once they saw actually why we were doing, once they understood why we were doing it, and once they saw the results, they were sold. So after that, we don't have to tell them to do it. After the first case was done, then we did a study and it was established as a routine standard of care. What we designed was initially once the baby is born, it's taken care of. We did a cheek-to-cheek contact. And then we started doing it during cesarean section, then examination, which I've talked about, and kangaroo care. The related activities were, as Dr. Gangal has told you earlier, weight chart, interactive classes, Malish Wali Bai, support groups, and BFHI activities. Now, all this can be done. Animals are sensible because we don't have to teach them about breastfeeding, but are we? That's a question you need to ask yourself. And once you talk to your staff nurses, I'm sure the practices will change. The BFHI status can be yours for asking if you want to put in efforts. BPNI Maharashtra is ready to give you sensitization workshops and carry the things forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Bhagat, sir. That was a beautiful and mindset-changing presentation. We request the chairpersons to give their valuable comments, please.
Well, it was an extraordinary knowledge sharing, and especially for the first time, we have seen somebody saying that this is the pediatrician who is obstructing the breast crawl. So, of course, vitamin K examination and all can be done afterwards. That is the message. And as soon as possible, put the child and reverse crawl. Of course, we are doing as a pediatrician in our Amreli city, Amreli district in Gujarat. So, but yes, of course, it is a very inspirational talk for everyone. Even for the pediatrician also, that even though we say about the exclusive breastfeeding or kangaroo mother care, but unless we are mastered in breast crawl, I think the breast crawl can make all the things very easy, and it is the must thing for exclusive breastfeeding and early initiation of the breastfeeding. Thank you very much for this kind presentation, and I would request our other chairperson to introduce our second speaker. Over to you.
Dr. Shashwat Jani, kindly unmute yourself, please. We can't hear you.
Hello. Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, yes, sir.
Yes. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, Nitin sir. Now I would like to invite Dr. Mangala Vani madam for her talk on breast crowd. Madam is obstetrician and gynecologist and a lactation consultant, and she is the director at Irkani Gynecologist and Breastfeeding Medicine Clinic, Pune. She was past president of Breastfeeding Promotion Network of India, Maharashtra, and executive vice president POGS, treasurer MSA Maharashtra chapter from 2014 to 2016. She was clinical secretary in POGS. She was course director of IBCLC lactation training, BPNI Maharashtra, national trainer for IYCF, and Dr. Shirodkar Oration Solapur OBGYN Society. She has delivered. She was awarded for Indian Achievers Award for Chikitsak Ratan by Global Society for Health and Education Growth in New Delhi. She achieved. She was awarded as Young Scientist Award at the 5th World Congress on Endometriosis in Japan in 1996. Best Debutant Award in POGS. And NB Kumta Award by BPNI Maharashtra. So I request Dr. Manglavani madam to give her talk on breast crowd.
Thank you, Dr. Shashwat, for the kind words and the kind introduction. I should also thank you, ICOG, for organizing such a beautiful 3 days certification course. I remember exactly 3 years ago when Dr. Sneha Bhuyar was the chairperson of the Breast Committee, FOGSI, and I was the convener for that ICOG 3 days course, and it was very successful, and we had a very good attendance for that certification course. So I again congratulate ICOG team for this repetition of the course, and I see a lot of participation and enthusiasm seen also around in the FOGSI members. And I think it is very important if you listen and do this course and make changes, small changes. I think I will start the sharing as well, my this thing meantime. Can you see my presentation?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Oh, it has gone to... Wait, let me... Yes. So, and make small changes, and then you will learn. You know, it is looks very simple, very easy. You know, anything you learn, because breastfeeding is also an art. It is a skill. You know, naturally, the women breastfeeding is actually less than 10%. So, it is very important. We as a health professional, we are giving the proper support to the mother for the breastfeeding. So Dr. Karthik Bhagat has made my talk very easier. He has covered a lot of things. So, you know, breastfeeding, it is a professional endorsement. Given the short and long-term medical and neurodevelopmental advantages of breastfeeding, it should be, infant nutrition should be considered as a public health issue and not only a lifestyle choice, you know. And it is one of the most highly effective preventive measure a mother can take to protect the health of the infant and herself to the breastfeed. So very important. So no matter where a newborn takes his or her first breath, the desire to give that baby the first start is the universal. You know, the first few hours and the days after the birth, they are the riskiest periods of the child's life. And so they are very important. And any species, you know, for species such as primates, whether that mother delivers in the hospital, in the modern, all the equipments, or whether she delivers in the remote areas, in the even the forest. The mother is the environment for that baby. Now these are the recommendations given by the World Health Organization. So we've been saying that's the first one, the help mother to hold the baby skin to skin, and so that the baby starts the breastfeeding within 1 hour of life. Then the exclusive breastfeeding for 6 months of life, and breastfeeding should continue for minimum of till the baby's second birthday or till the baby's 2 years, and the maximum as long as the mother and the baby wants. Now we say, initiation of the breastfeeding within 1 hour. When we hear this, it looks so simple. The baby is born and the mother just takes the baby to the breast. The baby starts suckling and that's the end of the story. But if you see actually in the practice, does it happen like that? No. And if you see the figures, the breastfeeding rates are so low, only 2 babies in 5 babies. So only 41% of the babies are, initiated within 1 hour after birth. So Dr. Karthik has mentioned this. It's very important that we place the baby on the mother's abdomen, and the baby then, if undisturbed, it will latch within 1 hour after delivery. Of course, it is very important, we support the baby a little bit, otherwise baby will slip away and fall. So there has to be dedicated staff. There has to be dedicated health professional to do this. And the skin to skin, if the baby is cold, so because there's a skin to skin, baby remains warm. Suppose the AC is on or the weather is cold, we can have a blanket on top of the mother and the baby together, so that they are inside the blanket. Now these stages beautifully has been described, and we know the breastfeeding initiation is very, very less. Now you see the early, if there is a separation, and there is the early infant adversity. This was a very important position paper in the pediatric. And what it says, it causes a toxic stress to the baby. So you can imagine this is a very powerful word. So through hidden maternal regulators, the mother precisely controls every element of her infant's physiology, from the heart to the release of hormones, from the appetite to intense activities of the baby. So warming, feeding, and protection behaviors, they are intricately, inseparably linked to the right place. And that right place is what? The mother's abdomen and the chest, near the skin to skin contact. It is also very important to know that the skin to skin contact causes breastfeeding. And the Cochrane database, which is said to be very standard, the scientific data. So what it says, it 8 times more likely to breastfeed if we start the skin to skin contact after birth. And there is a clear dose response relationship between skin to skin in the first 3 hours post birth and exclusive breastfeeding at discharge at 3 months and at 6 months. Of course, then mother will have a less breast problems, and the engorgement is the commonest problem that we see, and it is a very cost-effective program for mother and children. Actually, there is somebody has even calculated, if we invest 1 rupee to support the mother's breastfeeding, we get 35 rupees back in that infant and mother. No any investment will give you such returns. So there are benefits. The baby becomes very stable, the baby's temperature, the heart rate, the oxygen, it is much stable than the babies in the warmer or babies in the NICU. The sugar levels are nicely maintained, that there is a thermoregulation, reduced NICU admissions, the baby has less pain and baby cries less, better sleep and growth. And there is a colonization of the newborn to maternal flora to protect infections and it protection against necrotizing colitis, which is a very common cause in the preterm babies, for the baby's mortality. There is a bonding that we cannot measure in the cost. And of course, there is an increased success of the breastfeeding. So it eases the infant's transition to extrauterine life. The baby was inside the mother's tummy. So the baby is used to, listen to all the sounds, the mother's heartbeat. So when there's a skin to skin contact and baby listens to all the sounds inside mother's body, the baby is very happy because baby knows it is his home there, and those benefits, that bonding, it persists years later, I would say throughout even the adulthood. Lot of benefits to mother. Oxytocin, the love hormone, it antagonizes the flight and fight effect. It reduces the maternal anxiety, stress, and they are very calm. These breastfeeding mothers, I will tell you, they are very cool. They don't get angry. They are not worried about whatever happening around, and increases the parenting behavior. It improves the bonding, expulsion of the placenta is quicker, so reduces the postpartum hemorrhage. So it reduces the anemia too, which is again quite common in India. And it increases the breastfeeding success. So when mother and the baby separated, that leads to toxic stress. So in toxic stress, what happens? Baby's cortisol levels increase. Normally there has to be more oxytocin level, but separated babies, they get more cortisol levels, and then it disrupts the brain architecture, and that leads to stress management. That responds at a relatively lower threshold. And what happens? Increasing the risk of stress related physical and mental illnesses in the baby. So very, very important. This baby as an adult also cannot be a healthy adult. It will have a lot of metabolic problems, lot of even mental illnesses. So this is beautiful graph. You can see that if there is a baby skin to skin and close to the mother, there is an attachment, as opposed to detachment where the baby is separated. So there is a bond between the parent and the infant, attachment, oxytocin, and as opposed to separation, there is a despair, there is a depression, there is a more cortisol, and these babies are diseased. So even animal experiments, you can see these babies are close to the mother. So there is a lot of leaking and grooming that is happening. So these babies have a low cortisol levels and low anxiety, as opposed to these babies. They are separated. Like this in our hospital, what happens? The same. After delivery of the mother, we do all the procedures. We wrap the baby nicely, give it to the relatives, and the baby is waiting in the room. And where already some top milk is given. And then the mother comes from delivery or maybe after cesarean section. Some mothers are even given sedation. So mother is shifted to the ward and mother also sleeps. So there is a separation. What is happening? Already baby has high corticosterone levels, high anxiety, and unhealthy adult. So early stress alters gene expression with health impact across the lifespan. Again, delaying skin to skin and initiation may suppress newborns' innate protective behaviors that leads to behavior disorganization, which makes self-attachment and breastfeeding more difficult and may disturb the bonding and even the maternal behavior. There are negativities in that mother may not have all that motherly sensation, rough handling of the baby, lower affective response. And breast milk production is strongest determinant of the duration and exclusivity of the breastfeeding. So if production within first 4 days is predictive of future potential. So early the attachment, again, these are very important scientific evidence. The longer the interval between the birth and the first breastfeed, the greater the risk of dysfunctional attachment. And the first hour breastfeeding is the practice most predictive of exclusive breastfeeding in the hospital after vaginal and C-section delivery. There is a lot of data. So what we do or what we do not do in the first 3 days influences the duration and exclusivity of the breastfeed. So, we do a lot of things as we have mentioned. So there is a separation, the baby is kept in the warmer, there's a suction done, then baby is dried, injection vitamin K is given, the baby is weighed, even some hospitals, even the bath is given and the baby is wrapped. And then the mother also, she just has episiotomy suturing or after cesarean section. So, I mean, when we do the teaching, or we go for BFHI assessments, we do this little role play. We just ask the 2 labor ward sisters and tell us what happens after delivery. And it is amazing. They tell so many things. And then they say that baby goes to the ward, but no word about the breastfeeding. But initially they say, madam, we start the breastfeeding within 1 hour. So practice is very, very difficult. It is not easy, but it is not impossible. We need to make a lot of changes in our practices, lot of change in our attitude, lot of training, not only knowledge, it is the skills that we have to increase. So the critical ingredient to long-term breastfeeding is adequate milk supply. So the first, our colostrum removal, strongest signal for future production, not 2 to 6 hours or after. So what we have been learning, if there's a separation between mother and the baby, then direct skin to skin and breastfeeding is not possible. In that case, the mother has to express the milk. I mean, we have to help the mother. And that colostrum needs to be given to the baby. Hormone sets in stage. There is a reduced progesterone, then there is a lactogenesis. So, this is physiological, the lactogenesis too, the galactopoiesis, this is all happens. But the early, frequent and effective removal of the colostrum determines the future production. Very, very important. The first 1 or 2 days are extremely important. First our colostrum removal, strongest signal for the future production. So there are a lot of studies done here also, and 506 women after cesarean section. So when there was an exclusive breastfeeding within 1 hour, you can say at 6 weeks, 74% of the women were breastfeeding as opposed to only 38%. So very important. Another again the same, So when there was exclusive breastfeeding, there was no weight loss at 10 days. But if you see where was no expression, rarely hand express, there was a 10% of the babies had more than 10% of the weight loss. So the colostrum, the hand expression, so that is what it has been shown, because colostrum is very, very small in amount, sometimes just few drops. If we take in the spoon or in the katori, and it is sticky, so it sticks to the sides only. So the baby doesn't get much. So best way, we take the 2 cc syringe and we directly express and we just take that in the syringe and directly then we give that to the baby. So many benefits, we call it as a first vaccination called colostrum. Rich in antibodies, it causes peristalsis. So there is a passage of the meconium, so baby has a less jaundice, helps to complete the maturation of the intestines, and rich in vitamin A and K. Many, many benefits. So no prelacteal feed. What is prelacteal feed? Whatever we give apart from breast milk to the baby before the first feed or even in the initial few days. So it replaces the colostrum, because once we give something else, baby's stomach is full. So baby is then going to refuse the breastfeed and baby is not going to get colostrum, And again, there is a risk of infection. Baby has no immunity of its own. And if we are not giving the colostrum and instead we are giving some other thing, then there is a high risk that the baby will get infection. There is a risk of allergy as well. And a lot of myths there. Why early initiation doesn't happen apart from our unawareness, our attitude, our lack of knowledge. There are still a lot of myths and misconceptions. For example, many places still, the grandmother says, no, the colostrum is not good. It is there in the breast for a few months and it is old and stale. So they don't give it actually, the colostrum. So such myths, or there has to be the first feed, has to be the priest has to come and say some mantra, and that priest may not be available immediately. So then there is a delay. The family support is so important. And, as everybody says, and you all know, this is the big hurdle, the third one, routine formula supplementation. Over the years, we have lost the confidence that only breast milk is enough for baby, for term baby we are talking about, and we have really, it's good we have started, there is awareness, but we have a long way to go. The hospital practices needs to be changed. So a lot of risk to the formula. I'm not going to go in detail about that. And you can see the breast milk has so many constituents compared to formula. The formula people are sitting there not for our baby's health. They are there to do their business, to make the money. So a lot of even cheap things are added and lot of advertisements wrongly done. Given formula in the hospital doubles the risk of discontinuing breastfeeding. How many mothers ever saw being breastfed? The Facebook poll, 50% mothers never saw any baby being breastfed. Can you imagine? Not as a kid, not an adult, not on the TV. So, if we don't see something like that, how we expect our mothers to do that? So again, the breastfeeding in public is another topic to discuss about. So beautifully we have discussed about the antenatal classes. So mother knows the initiation is so important as soon as the baby is born. So even if we are busy and we are not giving, she will tell you, give my baby to me, I want to give skin to skin. I think when mothers start coming asking in the hospital, the healthcare professional have to change their practices. So all that is being done, that we have spoken earlier, and that is delays the hospital practices. After cesarean section, this is the routine that we see. This is in one of the hospital, I have only taken the photo. There is, see the gown, there is no front open gown. So there is no question of skin to skin contact. The mother has been given the sedation. So there is no question of breastfeeding. So here, beautiful, the family affair, taking the selfie with the skin to skin, and over the shoulders, the baby. Again, the baby is not wrapped here, remember. It is skin to skin contact is very important. And we also never press the baby's head. It is at the neck and the back that we support the baby, So even after cesarean section is over, if the staff is trained, they can help the breastfeeding. So the first hour initiation cuts 22% of all the neonatal deaths. Very, very important. Again, position paper which has published from Ghana. This is the larger meta-analysis. The prolongation of the breastfeeding, the longer than 1 hour, longer than 24 hours, how the neonatal mortality increases. Very, very, very good paper, So countries beating minimum support for breastfeeding, unfortunately none, And as I said, it is the best investment. We have spoken about the baby friendly, how nicely the success of the breastfeeding increases. And that is the stage 4 of our BFHI. So you all doctors, this baby is asking, are you going to help me to lead a healthier life? Now you know how important all the 10 steps. Today we have learned the step 4. So please help me for that. There is the IBCLC, that is International Board of Lactation Consultant Examination, the master's degree in breastfeeding, and BPNI Maharashtra very successfully. Every year we conduct one batch. We have 60 to 90 students every year. This is the only course where we teach also hands-on skills. because only knowledge is not enough. We as a gynecologist, when we are learning cesarean section, we just don't read and go next day to do cesarean section. We hands-on skills so important. So similarly for breastfeeding, you need to learn. So this was just our recent batch 24-25, 2 weeks ago, we conducted in the Sion Hospital. We can see Dr. Prabhu sir, Dr. Gangal sir, and Dr. Radha madam, the HOD of pediatrics at Sion Hospital. And we also take small groups and we teach them counseling sessions, which are so important. And one whole day we teach only counseling, which we don't have during our undergraduation, post-graduation. And then they all enjoy that day so much. And they say, madam, it is not only for patients, even it is our colleagues, for our family, those skills are so important. So thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am, so much. It comes from a very passionate lactation expert, Dr. Manglavani. Over to the chairpersons for your comments. And dear delegates, do stay back for the most important part, which is the post-test, post-MCQ test. So over to the chairpersons for your comments, sir.
Well, it is always great to see some obstetricians speaking and promoting regarding breastfeeding. And now we are much satisfied and much friendly with all you people. And really, Madam Manglavani is a BPNI. She was the past president of Maharashtra BPNI chapter. And she has worked, it has been seen, I was not knowing her till date, but really, this whole session, the whole 3 sessions has enriched our knowledge and make us more inspirational regarding practicing more breastfeeding. And really, it's a worthy course, and I congratulate and kudos to all ICOG team. And especially thank you to Dr. Parul Kotarawala, who has invited me as a chairperson. And I think now the test is time is for the post-test, and let us have the post-test. The office bearers can proceed. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am, once again. And I'd like to request the post-test. The post-test will be in the chat box. The link will be there.
Dr. Devi, are there any questions to be answered?
Yes, sir. We are soon going to share the link in the chat box. There will be questions. No, there will be questions for the delegates to answer. These will be MCQs.
Hello, Dr. Mangala. Pleasure listening to you once again.
Welcome. Pleasure.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Is that Charu? Because I can't see the face.
That's okay.
Can somebody please share the link for the questions?
I request everyone, please take this post-test as a compulsory system. Because until unless you have not done post-test, you will not be able to get the certification. All the speakers have beautifully explained every question of this post test. Dr. Mangala, your talk was very good.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
Very simple and
Anytime.
explanatory and very to the point. Very nice.
Thank you so much.
For the first time on seeing the pediatrician so much involved in this. Thanks everyone. Thank you, child. Dr. Parag, would you like to discuss about something regarding MCQs?
Yes, ma'am. I think
Hello?
we show that slide. Yes, yes. I think everyone has contributed to these questions. So maybe we can involve the primary faculty who has provided the question, or else I can also continue, whatever you feel it is.
I think it may be easier if one person does it because
Okay.
otherwise we'll be wasting time.
Okay, okay.
So either
Fine,
you
sir.
do it or Prashant will do it.
Anyway, Prashant bhai, you can also carry
No,
on.
no,
Go ahead,
Parag
bhai, go ahead. Don't worry.
Parag bhai, aap kar rahe ho.
So, which is the strongest stimulus that drives the baby towards nipple during breast crawl? And that is olfactory sensation. That is very true. There is a special chemical which is being released from this Montgomery tubercles, and they produce a typical smell. And this smell is actually similar to amniotic fluid. That's why the babies are attracted towards it. Okay, then for successful breast crawl, one of the following is unfavorable practice: drying the baby thoroughly, cleaning mother's breast with normal saline or distilled water. That will remove that the smell of the breast milk. Even baby's hands should also not be clear. Please make it down. Yeah, thank you. During breast growth, the olfactory stimulus that drives the baby towards nipple is a substance on the nipple which has an odor similar to that of a chemical in the amniotic fluid. That's true. That's what we already discussed. The recommended duration after birth to place the baby for breast growth on mother's abdomen, anytime within first hour, about 5 minutes. I think it should be as early as possible. So even as we already shown that before cutting the cord, the baby should be on the mother's abdomen to initiate breast growth as far as possible. Then breast growth was discovered by Anne Mary Winston et al. Yes. Then what comes first during breast crawl is mouthing. There are 9 steps, I think, and out of them, mouthing is the first one. Then Mangala Vani, madam, has what is the step 4 of BFHI? That is to facilitate immediate and uninterrupted skin-to-skin contact and support mothers to initiate breastfeeding as soon as possible after birth. Earlier, it was within half an hour or 1 hour. Now it is extended to involve first skin-to-skin contact also. Then skin-to-skin contact immediately after birth has following benefits to the baby. All of above. Yes, they are all of above. Remember, whatever advantages we are telling about, they are for breastfeeding as well as KMC. So they are common advantages. This hormone is especially high in mother immediately post-birth. Oxytocin is, of course, the love hormone. Then giving formula or other pre-lactal feeds before first breastfeeding will replace colostrum, reduce breast, everything. Everything can cause harm. There are all these are disadvantages. Then which immunofactor in human milk is highest in day 1? Secretory IgA. I think that is for all stages. IgA is the maximum thing. But then there are n numbers of these immunological factors, and we are still studying them. There are a big list. Especially you learn from actually formula makers. They'll come up with one new idea that now we are having HMO and now other this and that thing. Everything is present in breast milk. Then newborn glucose metabolism is represented by glycogenolysis, high neoglucogenesis, low insulin glucagon ratio, and high ketones. Yeah, everything is correct. Then newborn can use following sources of energy. They can use glucose as well as ketones. We already know that. Particularly brain can utilize it, and that's why the babies will not have ill effects of mild hypoglycemia. Then newborns' blood glucose levels are directly proportional to frequency of breastfeeding. I think Dr. Prashant had ठोकी ने बोला था कि ऐसा होता है, right? Then what is the recommended initial treatment for a newborn with symptomatic hypoglycemia? It is the intravenous dextrose bolus followed by continuous infusion. So these babies are exception, and they need IV because otherwise the brain can get irreparable or irreversible damage. We cannot let the baby convulse for a longer time. Next, please. So baby should be breastfed every 2 hours. If a baby cries before 2 hours, it means the mother has less milk. This is a big misconception or myth. While breastfeeding, mother must be in sitting position. Feeding in sleeping position can lead to ear infection or pneumonia. That is not correct. Then after cesarean delivery, milk comes in adequately after 2 to 3 days. So for first 2 days, baby must be given cow's milk or formula. That is also incorrect. We all know now it. Which organization launched the baby-friendly hospital initiative? It is World Health Organization and United Nations Children's Fund UNICEF. In India, it was introduced by BPNI, and now it has been promoted by BPNI Maharashtra like anything. Then which of the following is not one of the 10 steps of to successful breastfeeding endorsed by BFHI? Encouraging the use of pacifiers is never encouraged by BFHI, correct? I think the answers are... Anything else, sir? Thank you very much.
Can I make a small comment? 2
Yes, sir.
minutes. Can I speak for 2 minutes?
Sure.
Yeah, two things. Just one memory which is related to breast crawl. After we made the breast crawl video, UNICEF told us to prepare a dossier on breast crawl. So that was prepared, and I am proud to say that the reviewer and the preface for that particular document was done by Dr. Marshall Kloss. And when I was in San Francisco, we had 2 meetings with Dr. Kloss and Mrs. Kloss, and that memories have been etched in my mind. And the original inventor of breast crawl, Dr. Anne-Marie Wittstrom, was also one of the reviewers for that particular document. And I had the opportunity to speak with her about 2 to 3 times. She's no more. And last thing I would like to say is that BPNI Maharashtra is providing free BFHI sensitization for individual maternity homes, small or big. BFHI process is lengthy, but at least the initial sensitization we can provide to the maternity homes, online sensitization, about 2.5 hours program. So those interested can contact us, and we'll be able to help as soon as possible, depending on the load we have. Thank you so much.
Dr. Karthikeyan, do you want to say something?
Parag, you wanted to say something, no? Go ahead.
Yes, sir. I had 2 other videos of breast crawl edited to very small time. If at all time permits, I can show, or else I'll transfer to you and you can show it on the later dates.
No, I think we'll do it later because we are beyond
Fine.
7. They said that 4 to 7 is, they're very strict about timing. So I think we were short.
Sure.
So I think let's conclude the session. I think what starts well should end well. So today the sessions have gone well. So I hope the program does well over a period of time. And especially for obstetricians, be a part of this program, which may change the way you look at things. I changed, so I'm sure you can too. But what you need is a good pediatrician, and it's the combination which works well.
They wanted BFHI contact. So they can take my number. I'll write in the chat box. 98200. I don't know where to type. Chat.
Hello.
You can send me a WhatsApp message.
ICOG team can provide it.
98200 66028.
Yeah.
98200 66028. Yeah. So you can send me a WhatsApp message and I'll get back to you. Anybody all over India, all over the world, those who want free sensitization, as long as they understand English, Hindi, Marathi, Gujarati, we can provide that session. For Gujarat people will conduct it in Gujarati.
I think.
So, thank you so much, sir. We are very thankful to your support and commitment. Together, we can forge a path towards a brighter future. Combining together obstetricians and pediatricians. You have done marvelous job today. Thank you to all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Taru. Thank you, Divya. Thank you, Karthik Bhagat, for conducting beautifully today's webinar and the first day of the course. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Divya, for taking over. I was
Always
welcome. Thank you so much. Dr. Karthik, I'm so sorry for what my network was poor, so I handed over to Divya.
It's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. Thank you so much.